rain is currently not falling. We hope that remains the case, and it's a nice misty 69-degree evening here in Keene at Alumni Field. The pitching matchup for this one, Wyatt Lunsford-Schenkman for the Waves, who come in with a record of 9 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie. And for the SwampBats, Cole Stallings. Bats come in with a record of 5 wins and 10 losses on the season. Let's jump right into the starting lineups. Nathan, give us the starting lineup for Eric Hirschberg Bodnar's 9-8-1 Ocean State Waves.
For sure, batting first, the center fielder Kyrie Miller, followed by the left fielder Lewis Barnum. In the 3 spot, the first baseman Brody Heaton. 4, 5, 6 goes like this: Parker Rowland, the catcher; Davis Gillespie, the third baseman; and T.J. McKenzie, the right fielder. Followed by, in the 7th spot, Alex Ramirez at shortstop. And concluding the lineup today is the second baseman, Greg Pate, followed by the designated hitter, batting last, Matthew Graveline.
For the Keene SwampBats, they're 4th at the North, 5-10 under Sean McKenna. Jake Mumal leads off. He's the shortstop. Devin Taylor hits second. He'll be in right field. First baseman Garrett Rice will bat third. The cleanup hitter is designated hitter Braden Horton. Jordan Smith in center field bats 5th. Brian Padilla is the third baseman batting 6th. The catcher is Greg Bazzo. He bats 7th. Ramses Cordova gets the start at second base batting 8th. And Aiden Korn is in left field batting number 9 for starting pitcher Cole Stallings. We'll give you a quick look around the league and the standings update on the other side as we get underway in this one for the top of the first. But the SwampBats are taking the field as we speak. Our PA announcer, Walt Kilburn, is announcing their lineup at Alumni Field, and we will step aside for the national anthem. It's the first pitch next between the Waves and the SwampBats. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
Keene SwampBats Baseball on the NECBL Network is brought to you by Duncan, Timken, Ted's Shoe and Sport, C&S Wholesale Grocers, Raider Dental, Corning, Service Credit Union, the Keene Sentinel, the Greater Keene and Peterborough Chamber, connecting business and community. U.S. Cellular, Coca-Cola, Monadnock Broadcasting Group, Savings Bank of Walpole, the Savings Bank of you. Monadnock Ford, Fidium Fiber Internet, Llanos Technology, Fenton Family Dealerships, Hertskirt, American House, Fairfield, making memories since 1904. Fraser & Son Furniture, ICU Medical, M&T Bank, Mascoma Bank, True Rest, and by New Hampshire Ball Bearings Incorporated. Stay tuned for more of the SwampBats coming up next.
NECBL Network, and Steve Pierce is our director. Thanks again for joining us for this one. We were delayed half an hour because of the rain, but we should be good to go in a few moments as Cole Stallings throws his warm-up pitches. The SwampBats are in their purple jerseys with white bands going up the sides. SwampBats at capital black letters across the front, outlined in white. Black numbers on the backs outlined in white, white pants, purple caps, black bills this evening for the SwampBats. For the Ocean State Waves, dark blue jerseys, light blue numbers and letters outlined in white, white pants for the Ocean State Waves. First matchup between these two teams this season. Ocean State 9-8-1. They're third in the Coastal Division. SwampBats 5-10. They've lost 5 straight. They're fourth in the North Division. It'll be Kyrie Miller, Lewis Barnum, and Brody Heaton to lead things off for the Waves at the top of the first on a 69-degree evening, misty and overcast. There was rain earlier this afternoon. That's why we were delayed half an hour. Ready to go moments from now. Nathan, let's take a look at yesterday's scores while we have a moment in the NECBL. The Blue Sox beat the Blues 5-4 in 10 innings. The Waves coming off a 6-2 win at home over the Schooners. The Gulls beat the SwampBats here 9-1. The Mainers beat the Navigators in a barn burner 15-10. And the Mountaineers beat the Sharks 5-4 in 10 innings. Let's take a quick look at the NECBL standings heading into today.
And starting with the Coastal Division, the Newport Gulls lead the league with a record of 14-3. They are top of the Coastal Division, followed by Mystic at 10-7. Then come the Waves at 9-8-1, trying to close the gap with Mystic, who had their game called off due to rain today. North Shore follows them with 7 wins, 11 losses, and finally the Martha's Vineyard Sharks go 6-10. Up north, the Upper Valley Nighthawks lead with 10-3. Vermont close behind them, 12-4. Sanford Mainers in the third spot, 8-9, and the Keene SwampBats in fourth at 5-10. Finally, with the West Division, the Valley Blue Sox are 9-9 to lead them. The Bristol Blues close behind, 7-10.
Swung on and missed by Kyrie Miller, 0-1 at exactly 7 p.m.
And I almost got done with the standings. It's 2 teams away. Danbury Westerners in third at 6-10, and the North Adams Steeplecats fourth in the West at 3-12.
Almost made it in there under the wire. Not quite, as the foul ball back off the bat of Kyrie Miller. The count 0-2 from Cole Stallings, 6'2", 215 from Lithia, Florida. Senior righty from Stetson University, making his 4th start of the season. He was also with the SwampBats in 2021, was in the Cape Cod League last summer. And the 0-2, a breaking ball pops way upstairs, goes straight to the backstop. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cole, 11 1/3 innings in 3 starts, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 4.76. The 1-2, caught out and missed strike 3. Got him with a slider. 1 batter faced and 1 strikeout this evening for Cole Stallings, whose defense looks like this. Greg Bazzo is behind the dish. Garrett Rice is at first base. Ramses Cordova's at second. Jake Mumaw at shortstop. Brian Padilla at third. Left to right in the outfield, Aiden Korn, Jordan Smith, and Devin Taylor. The pitch to Lewis Barnum, the left fielder from Bryant, batting .231. Low and outside on a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Barnum with 6 hits on the season, and 4 of those have come in his last 5 games. Previous to that stretch, only had 1 hit in 6 games. Has 1 multi-hit appearance on the year. Looking to get things going now for Ocean State.
2 balls and no strikes. This one is lifted in the air to center, sending Smith drifting back on the edge of the warning track. Makes the catch in front of the wall. A ball that traveled 308 feet, but not far enough here at Alumni Field. Barnum is retired, 2 men away to begin the top of the first. Cole Stallings offers a fastball, a curveball, and a slider. Fastball usually averages around 88 miles an hour. It's been a consistent starter for the SwampBats both this summer and in 2021. Either what do you see as being key in this one for the Ocean State Waves? I mentioned for the SwampBats, it's all about offense. As Brody Heaton takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with the opposite there. The last couple of games for the Waves has featured some solid bullpen pitching, closing out games on the right track. The key for them is going to be to do that and add some early defense as well. They've given up a lot of their runs in the opening 3 frames, and against a SwampBats team.
Outside, 2-0.
And against a SwampBats team that struggles to put up runs, they're going to need to take advantage on the defensive end of the ball.
It'll be interesting to see if the field conditions affect the game today, with lots of rain coming down earlier this afternoon. The 2-0 pitch on the ground sharply through the left side. Base hit going into left field. Brody Heaton, the Belmont first baseman, aboard with the 2-out single in the top of the first.
And it's a fine example from the Waves of 2-out batting, not being afraid to swing and go after the pitches, not playing conservatively. And Brody Heaton lines it down left field into the ground for a base hit, does just enough to get on first, and now the Waves have a man to work with on base.
That'll bring Parker Rowland, the catcher from Arkansas Fayetteville. He's a switch hitter batting left-handed against Cole Stallings. Just one lefty and one switch hitter for the Waves starting line against the right-hander Cole Stallings. He throws over to first, and Heaton is back standing. The Waves do a lot of running, the opposite of the SwampBats. Pitch, swung on and missed. And the count 0-1. Waves have the most stolen bases in the league, 56. They've been caught 11 times. Heaton, the runner at first now, though, does not have any of those stolen bases. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's meet the umpiring crew for this one. Sean Carasso is behind the plate. The field umpires are Phil Levesque and Sam Finn.
Yeah, and for the Waves, when you have someone on first, you can almost bet they'll be ready to go on contact.
The 1-1, breaking ball high. Yeah, the count 2 balls at a strike, so Stallings falling behind the third consecutive hitter here in the top of inning number 1. 2 outs, runner at first, just getting underway in a rain-delayed start here at Alumni Field. Stallings is ready. The 2-1 pitch, breaking ball, strike called. On the outside corner curveball at 76. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rowland, who's batting .357 on the season with a homer and 5 runs batted in. 2-2 pitch, low with a fastball. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be a head start at first base for Brody Heaton.
And that home run came in his season-high 3 hits, went 3 for 3 against North Adams, had a couple of runs. One of them was that first home run. That's his only multi-hit game of the season so far. Looking to replicate that today.
3-2 swung on and missed strike 3. Got it with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Stallings works out of the first inning with 2 strikeouts. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Ocean State nothing, and Keene coming to bat for the first time next. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
No score, as the Waves could not get a run across against Cole Stallings at the top of the first. They'll send up Jake Mumaw, Devin Taylor, and Garrett Rice in the bottom half of inning number 1 against Wyatt Lunsford Shankman, 6'2", 225 out of Leesburg, Virginia, a junior righty out of East Carolina. The season, he has thrown 6 1/3 innings in total, 2 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts, 3 appearances, all out of the bullpen. So he makes his first start in this one against the SwampBats.
Yeah, he pitched 2 innings in relief in his last appearance versus Newport, faced 6 batters and struck out 2. Again, allowed no hits, and he was part of that lights-out bullpen appearance that, despite the loss, kept the goals scoreless through the last 6 frames of that game in a 5-2 loss. Comes in again for his 4th appearance of the season, and he has been solid out of the pen for the Waves. Now makes his first start, as you mentioned, and The Waves trying to keep it scoreless here. Again, as you said, they couldn't put up a run despite getting a runner on first in Brody Heaton in the top of the first inning. And we're locked in at 0 here, bottom of the first frame.
So fresh 9 innings to work with for the SwampBats offense, which has struggled, especially of late on the season. They are second to last in batting average, hitting a .185 as a team. They are last in OBP at .290, 10th in slugging at .283. First batter is Jake Moomaw, left-hand hitter, and that one screams just over top of our third base press box, 0-1. Nathan, you asked me how much give the net has here in front of the press box earlier this afternoon. We almost found out there. The 0-1 bounced to third. Picking it up is Gillespie, the third baseman, throws strongly to first in time, 1 man away. And with that, let's meet the Waves defense. Parker Rowland is a catcher. Brody Heaton at first base, Craig Pate at second, Alex Ramirez at short, Davis Gillespie at third, Lewis Barnum in left field, Kyrie Miller in center, and Tyler McKenzie is a Waves right fielder. Here's the SwampBats right fielder, the left-hand hitting Devin Taylor. Swing and a miss at a first pitch breaking ball low. 0-1 on Taylor, batting .200 now with a .286 OBP, a homer and an RBI on the season for the Big Ten Freshman of the Year this spring. Takes a strike on the outside corner at 84 miles an hour. And quickly behind 0-2 is Taylor. Lunsford Shakeman into the full windup, the 0-2. Foul back at an elevated fastball. Still the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Ocean State off to a 9-8-1 start, largely off the back of their hitting. They're 5th in the league in batting average, but 2nd in the league in on-base percentage. They're just 8th in the league in pitching. As Taylor takes outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. .455, the team ERA for the Waves. See if the SwampBats can try and put some runs out of the board against them. 1-2. Bounced at the plate. That is a fair ball picked up by the catcher Rowland. He throws to first in time. Retired is Devin Taylor on a little dribbler. He wasn't sure it was fair.
Yeah, that one bounced right in front of the plate and really could have fallen anywhere. Does bounce just fair. Makes the run to first. Not in time. Rowland with all the time in the world, and he takes it, gets the throw to Heaton, and they record 2 straight outs at first base. That's what the Waves have been so good at this year, the infield defense. You saw it last on the 5-3 play that looked routine, but all season the Waves have been able to clean those plays up and get the outs, and now it's 2 away in the bottom of the first.
Garrett Rice getting the start at first base today. He takes a strike. And 0-1 on Garrett Rice, who's making his first start in the last 3 games. The 0-1 high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Garrett batting .179 with the .283 on base percentage, but he's got 2 homers and is the team leader in RBIs with 8. The 1-1 pitch, caught on and missed at a pitch down low out of the strike zone. It's 1-2 on Rice. Lunsford Shankman goes back to work. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He blew a 93-mile-an-hour heater by Rice. It's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for Wyatt Lunsford Shankman. No score, we go to the second. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
At Keene State College, life is an adventure. You'll forge your path forward. As an owl, you'll take on challenges in the classroom, field, court, or track. Every worthwhile adventure has its share of blood, sweat, and tears. It takes hard work and dedication. No owl flies alone on their journey at Keene State. Teammates, coaches, professors, alumni, and fellow owls are with you along the way. They lift you up as you continue forward. When you're part of Owl Nation, you become the person you truly want to be.
the Ocean State Waves. Since we got a delayed start, most of the other games should be in action this evening in the NECBL. So we'll take our first look at the scoreboard. No score in Bristol between the Vermont Mountaineers and the Bristol Blues in the bottom of the third. In our game, no score. Top of the second, Davis Gillespie, the 5-hitter. Righty getting ready against Cole Stallings. His first pitch is a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Gillespie, the third baseman out of Southern Mississippi, batting .263 with a .396 on-base percentage. The 1-0 cut out and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gillespie's got 3 homers on the season. 3 of the 14, which is third in the league that Ocean State have hit as a team. The 1-1 taken on the outside corner, a strike, and it's 1-2.
And 2 of those home runs came in a career night for him versus North Shore back on June 22nd. 6 RBIs and 2 home runs, going 3 for 5 on the night.
1-1 fouled over the first base side grandstand. It is drizzling here at Alumni Field, but if it doesn't get any worse than this, it shouldn't cause an issue.
I believe this is supposed to persist for about the next half an hour, then dissipate into some clouds for the rest of the night.
1-2, breaking ball on the ground left side. Padilla scoops it up from third, throws to first in time. Nice infield defense there by Brian Padilla, ranging in front of shortstop from his third base position to scoop up that ball and make a strong throw. 1 man away, and that'll bring up Tyler McKenzie, the right fielder from baseball blue blood program Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and that's not always an easy catch to make, especially with the moisture on the ground. It could always take a weird bounce off the grass or off the dirt, makes the scoop, gets the throw off in time, and now it's 1 away in the second.
McKenzie takes high and outside, ball 1. He's batting .161 on the season with a .333 on base percentage. He's a guy the SwampBats don't want to get on base because he's got 7 steals and 7 tries. There's a breaking ball strike, and it's 1-1. Back to that out-of-town scoreboard. North Adams and Martha's Vineyard scoreless in the bottom of the first on the Vineyard, where the SwampBats will be for a doubleheader tomorrow. Breaking ball in there for a strike on McKenzie, 1-2. The Newport Gulls have a 6-0 lead over the Danbury Westerners. Newport beat the SwampBats 9-1 yesterday here. 1-2 pitch. Fastball taken little outside, 2-2. Newport 6, Danbury nothing in Newport. That game's at the top of the third. There were 2 rainouts tonight. North Shore and Upper Valley postponed. 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. Third strikeout for Cole Stallings. 2 outs and nobody on at the top of the second. Still no score here in Keene. That'll bring up the shortstop from Mercer, Alex Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez just recently made the transfer to Mercer, spent the last few seasons at the University of Rhode Island where he had a very successful year. You talk about reaching bases, had a streak where he reached 29 straight games on base for URI, the longest streak of any Ram, and
Ramirez takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Was also one of 6 Rhode Island Rams to receive all Atlantic 10 first team honors after the season. A little bit of a slower start for him, just looking to get
1-0 squares, pulls back, takes a ball inside, and it's 2-0. Stallings has fallen behind several batters now in the count, but he hasn't been made to pay quite yet. The 2-0 to the left-hand batting Ramirez, taken for a strike. It's 2-1. Mystic and Sanford, the other rainout. So North Shore, Upper Valley rained out in Upper Valley. Mystic and Sanford rained out in Sanford. This one of 4 games in the NECBL tonight, and we'll follow them with you. The pitch swung on and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball there from Stallings.
Yeah, and once again, showcasing his ability to come back from a 2-0 hole, keep his composure.
Taken. Just off the plate inside. That was a close pitch at 91 miles an hour.
I think everyone was waiting for the strike call there that just never came. And
Sean Grasso signaling that it was down. The 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4. And Ramirez draws a 2-out walk after being a little bit fortunate not to get rung up on that 2-2 pitch.
You talk about guys getting on base in whatever way they can. This is what you don't want to allow against the Waves, especially when you struggle giving up runs. And now the Waves with a runner to work with on first, and you better believe he'll take any opportunity to steal second when he can.
5 for 5 stealing this season, Alex Ramirez. Greg Bazzo's thrown out 2 of the 9 runners that have tried to steal against him this season. Not going. The first pitch here, a check swing by Greg Pate. Fouled off to the right. Out of play down the right field line. And foul ground. 0-1 on Pate, batting .158 with a .360 on base percentage, so he knows how to work a walk. Stallings ready, the 0-1. Taken down, 1 ball and 1 strike. He missed with a fastball. These two teams will meet just one more time this season at Old Mountain Field in South Kingstown, Rhode Island. Over to first, and back standing there is Ramirez. SwampBats looking for their first win this season against a Coastal Division opponent. They're 0-3 so far, falling to the Navigators. The goals yesterday, there's a strike on the outside corner. And it's 1-2. SwampBats lost to the Mystic Schooners last Friday. Throw over to first, closer play, but back in there safely is Ramirez with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Greg Pate.
Almost looked like he came a little bit short of the bag on the dive back, but able to touch it in time and once again retreat safely.
There's a 1-2. Down and away, reached for by Bazzo. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like Cole's struggling a little bit for his fastball command in the early going. That's why he's fallen behind in counts. That was not really a competitive 1-2 fastball down and outside. See what he comes back with on 2-2. In the dirt, a breaking ball. Runner goes. Bazzo's throw is not in time. Close play at second base. Sliding in there safely is Ramirez. I think that's just a dirt ball read there from Ramirez, and he advances to second. We'll see what they score it. It would either be a wild pitch or a stolen base, but I think it should be a wild pitch.
Yeah, that one just bouncing into the dirt and away from the waiting glove of Bazzo. Allows Ramirez to get there safely. Throw
Wild
came
pitch.
close, but
Stallings steps off, now steps back on. 3-2 and a runner in scoring position now for Pate. With a 9-hitter, Matthew Graveline due up on deck. Stallings is ready. The 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4. Back-to-back walks on 3-2 counts issued by Stallings. That will bring up Graveline with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Graveline, the 9-hitter, DH out of Ohio State, batting .200 with a .273 on-base percentage this season. A tall right-hand batting DH wears number 11. No score, 2 on, 2 out, top of the second. Cordova holding on the lead runner, Ramirez. The pitch. Breaking ball high. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hunter Cooley calls time. He's going to go out and talk with Cole Stallings, the SwampBats pitching coach, along with catcher Greg Bazzo.
yeah, got off to a really good start through 3 Ks and retired 5 of his first 6 batters, but since then allowing 2 straight walks, and that puts runners on first and second. So a little bit of the danger area for the Waves, and they're a team that really knows how to take advantage of this. So they'll want to just call time, calm it down a little bit. You still have 2 outs to play with, an out to play with, so a little bit of room there. And the SwampBats will want to keep the Waves off the board early if they want to keep themselves in this one.
Cole has thrown 39 pitches now, only 19 of them for strikes, less than half. He's walked the last 2. And now behind in the count, 1-0 on the 9-hitter Graveline. Good speed on the bases. Ramirez leads from second. Pate leads from first with 2 out.
And Graveline looking for his first hit in 7
1-0
appearances.
is a runner's bluff, and it's a fastball high 2-0. You don't want to get back to the top of the order here if you're Stallings with the bases loaded and Kyrie Miller, who's due up on deck. 2-0 on Graveline. The only open base is third. Pitch. Fastball in there, a called strike. Big strike there from Stallings on the outside corner. SwampBats need a bit of length this evening out of Stallings. They have a doubleheader tomorrow, and another doubleheader on Saturday, and another doubleheader next Monday. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside, 3-1. SwampBats are already short because of injuries in the bullpen on the pitching staff, so key in this stretch is going to be getting length out of their pitching and avoiding walks, but Stallings in danger of walking the bases loaded here. It's 3-1 on Graveline. The pitch. Fastball, high, ball 4. 3 straight walks, and it looks like the SwampBats will send a pitcher and a catcher down to the bullpen in case things get worse here in the second inning for Stallings. No place to put the batter now. Kyrie Miller after 3 straight walks.
And Matthew Graveline once again reaching base. He did so 3 games ago after being hit by the pitch versus Bristol, but again hasn't recorded a hit in 7 games, so still getting on base, and now the base is loaded for the Waves.
Winds up in the first pitch to Miller. Breaking ball over for a strike. Curveball in there at 75, and right now for Stallings with the bases loaded, it's just whatever he can throw for a strike.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't afford to go behind in the count again.
0-1, fastball, squibbed up right field foul. And it's 0-2 on Kyrie Miller. That is huge for Stallings to go up in the count here. 0-2 with the bases loaded, 2 outs, no score, top of the second.
Huge pitch upcoming for the SwampBats here.
0-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. Got him with a slider down low. 4th strikeout for Cole Stallings. He walks the bases loaded with 2 outs, but gets the strikeout to end the threat. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. Wet here. Overcast now. A little bit of blue out past the right field foul pole over the hills in the distance. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come as we try and get this game in. The SwampBats did not want another postponement tonight. And so far, so good after we were delayed a half hour because of rain. Braden Horton leads off in the home second. Scoreless game. 4, 5, and 6 here for the SwampBats as Wyatt Lunsford Shakeman deals outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Shakeman sent the bats down in order in the bottom of the first. 1-0. At the top of the zone. Off speed there. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wyatt Lunsford Shakeman. The 6'2", 225 long-haired righty from East Carolina. 1-1. Dribbled at the plate, touched by the catcher, rolling in foul territory. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Saw a similar situation an inning ago where that one just bounced off the bottom of the bat and landed fair. That time bouncing just foul, and Roland gets there for a 1-2 count.
Braden Horton has been hitting the ball well of late. The 1-2. Foul back on the ground. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Horton for a SwampBats lineup that's been struggling has been a bright spot. His average up to 268 for the season. OBP at 412. That's the best on the team. A 1-2 to Braden. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. Got it with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. It's the second strikeout for Lunsford Shankman. With 1 out and nobody on, that'll bring up Jordan Smith.
And now Shankman has recorded his 4th out in as many batters, continuing his good start in his first start tonight. Still yet to allow a base hit on the season, and this his 4th appearance on the bump for the Waves.
At the moment, 7 2/3 scoreless innings on the season for Lunsford Shankman. And Smith tags one toward left center near the gap, running over, making the catch is Kyrie Miller. The center fielder got a good beat on it at a nice running grab at the left center field gap to retire Jordan Smith, and that'll bring up Brian Padilla.
Yeah, Miller's so good in the outfield, making those catches, getting under the ball in time and reading the motion of the ball, records the out there, and if you fly out in that area, it's generally known that that's going to be caught by Kyrie Miller.
Brian Padilla, ground ball right side. Second baseman Pate to his left, picks it up, sidearm to first. In time, another rapid 1-2-3 inning for Wyatt Lunsford Shankman. We go to the third. Ocean State nothing, Keene nothing. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
For all your building projects, no matter what size.
It's WW Building Supply.
As a contractor, you know how important.
The second, after walking 3 batters in a row with 2 outs, came back to strike out Kyrie Miller and strand the bases loaded. But he's had to work hard now, already facing 10 batters through 2 scoreless innings. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup now for the Waves. Lewis Barnum, Brody Heaton, and Parker Rowland in a scoreless game, top of the third.
Yeah, and if you're the Waves, you're disappointed. You're still scoreless right now, walking 3 to load the bases for what is the 3rd straight inning in 2 games. They did it twice last night, and unable to take advantage in the second inning against the SwampBats team that looked to be struggling on defense. They were able to get out of it, and now Barnum steps up to try and get something going once again for Ocean State.
Barnum flying to the warning track in center in the first inning, hitting .231 with a .310 OBP, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. And he takes a looping breaking ball high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Where would you see that on your program?
Stallings trying to find the strike zone. He does have 4 strikeouts, but he had those 3 straight walks in the second inning as well. Pop foul over the grandstand first base side, 1-1. Not the biggest crowd of the season here. Grandstand a little less than halfway full. No surprise given the weather. 1-1 up and inside. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike.
And we got to say it's a great job by the fielding crew to get this diamond in playable position as well. A lot of puddles, even though there was a tarp put on before the game.
2-1, popped up, first base side foul ground. Garrett Rice waits in, makes the one-hand catch at his left shoulder for out number 1. Yeah, coaches Sean McKenna, Hunter Cooley, and Casey O'Brien worked really hard on this field and did a really nice job getting it into playable shape. An excellent job by the team earlier today. Shout out myself. I was part of the tarp pull earlier this afternoon.
I saw you in action there, and it helped him out. Looked pretty good.
Pitch to Brody Heaton is swung out and missed. The count 0-1. In other words, if it wasn't for me, this game wouldn't be getting played.
If it wasn't for you, this game wouldn't be getting called either.
That's
so
right.
I guess you had a lot of roles to
That
play
would
tonight.
be trouble. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Brody Heaton. A little check swing, foul back to the screen, and the count 0-2. But very good. We are able to get this game in. I think given the weather, it's not a bad crowd this evening. Still got a decent amount of folks in the grandstand and in the bleachers at Alumni Field. The 0-2 down and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, 1 out on the board, up 0-2. The last thing you want to do is even up this count again, especially the way the last inning went. So Stallings here has a huge couple of pitches to throw.
The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brody Heaton looks like a little leaguer right now because his shirt, the back of his jersey's untucked. Here's the 1-2. Down low on a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You hate to see that on a baseball field. Guy with his jersey untucked.
You're not sure if he knows about it or not, but regardless, he's at the plate with it.
Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, fouls away to the right side. Garrett Rice overlays out and nearly comes up with a spectacular grab. I didn't even think he was going to go for that. But there's acres of foul territory here at Alumni Field. Rice laid out. It was in playable territory near the grandstand. Rice just couldn't get there, but a great effort nonetheless.
Yeah, and as you said, it looks like one of those ones you just leave to go over the fence, but you got a little bit of extra foul territory out there, as you mentioned, diving, and luckily coming up okay, but without the ball was Garrett Rice.
Full count on Heaton, the pitch. Fastball high, ball 4. Actually, missed with a slider up and away there, did Stallings. So 4 walks now allowed by the SwampBats starter. That'll bring up Parker Rowland, the catcher from Arkansas Fayetteville. He struck out his first time up.
Yeah, Rowland with 5 hits and 2 runs on the season. That comes in just 5 appearances. Last appearance came 3 nights ago, I should say, versus the Nighthawks. Went 0 for 3, but did reach base on a walk. Doing that here would send a runner back to second, as we'll have another mound visit.
This time it's the head coach, Sean McKenna, coming out to talk with Stallings. And he will make a pitching change. Cole Stallings out after 57 pitches. 2 1/3 innings. Might be trying to talk his way to stay in this game, but Sam Drumheller was coming in from the bullpen. Now he's heading back toward the bullpen as the conversation continues. Sean McKenna and Cole Stallings discussing whether Cole's going to stay in this game. He's thrown 57 pitches, 28 strikes, 29 balls. And they'll stay in for now. He talks his way back in.
And you've got to imagine this is a pretty decisive inning at this point for him on the mound. Talks his way in for now, but if you have a similar showing or continue to allow runners around the base without a hit, and you've got to think this is the one that either keeps him in or takes him out in the next half inning.
Here's Parker Rowland. A throw over to first. Back standing is Heaton, who's not a solid base threat. Rowland struck out his first time at batting .357 on the year with a homer and 5 runs driven in. Pitch from Stallings. Breaking ball down low. Did it hit him? Now what's the call here?
Rowland is starting and stopping his
call?
way to first. Umpire came right out and called something, and Rowland will advance to first. Still not sure 100% what happened there.
Trying to overhear here.
Now the coach will come out for the
I think
SwampBats.
he swung at the pitch there.
Well,
I don't know if the SwampBats appealed it.
It's ruled on the stat sheet as a hit by pitch. That's what just showed up on our screen, not
Sean McKenna asked the
sure.
question. I don't know if the SwampBats ever appealed the swing on that. I thought he swung there, Rowland.
Yeah, it's not a terrible shout that he swung, but again, coming up on the live stats as a hit by pitch, and regardless, now the way is back with runners on first and second.
So it's Davis Gillespie now. First and second, one out. The pitch from Stallings. Foul back at a fastball. It's 0-1. Always like to see that from a pitcher talking his way back in, confident in himself to get out of this jam. But now it's more difficult with first and second and one out after the walk of a hit batsman.
Comes up against
Spins, throws to second, safe. Cordova thought he got him. The SwampBats did as well. Phil Levesque not giving the SwampBats the call on a close play at second base.
Yeah, you mentioned not that many fans here. They sounded loud on that one. Everyone in this stadium thought that he got him out at second. Didn't, though. Brody Heaton got back in time and now retakes a lead, looking ahead to third.
Great spin move by Stallings. The 0-1 here. Fastball just outside. 1-1.
Certainly close. Certainly close, but
a couple of close calls in this inning on the check swing hit by pitch, and then that pickoff attempt at second. A 1-1. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike as Sam Drumheller continues to warm up in the SwampBats bullpen. 2 on, 1 out, no score, top of the third. Stallings looks in. Gets his sign from Greg Bozzo, brings the hands together just above the belt. Left leg kick, the pitch. Breaking ball swung on it, missed 2-2.
And we've seen this before. Stallings able to get into these positions, bring himself back, and just can't quite finish out the at-bat. Risks loading the bases for a second time tonight, and a huge, huge pitch coming for him to keep himself in this ballgame.
2-2. Swung on, lifted in the air to right. Taylor comes in, makes a catch, and the runners retreat. Big second out for Cole Stallings in the top of the third as Gillespie hits a lazy fly to right. That'll bring up Tyler McKenzie, a right fielder who struck out his first time. 2 on and 2 out for McKenzie.
Yeah, it was his 13th time striking out this season. Is 5 for 31 with 11 runs this year for the Waves. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter last night versus Mystics. Scored a pair of runs the time before versus the Nighthawks. Went 0 for 4 and reached base on a walk and a fielder's choice during that game. So knows his ways around the base paths.
McKenzie takes up and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
The Waves are looking to load the bases once again, a position from which they could not take advantage last inning. And we are still scoreless here from Alumni Field.
1-0 in the dirt. Bozzo doesn't know where it is, and the runners will take advantage. It bounced straight up near home plate. Bozzo was looking toward the first base dugout. By the time he turned around and found it, Heaton has gone to third. Roland has gone to second, so 2 in scoring position after the wild pitch.
Yeah, and that is playing to the Waves' strength right there. Can't allow those pitching mistakes or else runners will steal. Brody Heaton gets his first stolen bag of the year, and now 2 runners in scoring position for Ocean State.
2-0 to McKenzie. Fastball high. 3 balls and no strikes. Got an open base here. You don't want to have the bases loaded again with Stallings still struggling for his command. The 3-0. In there for a strike. 3-1. Ramirez on deck, the only left-hand hitter in the lineup. Drumheller warming up in the bullpen as a lefty. Wouldn't be surprised if Stallings loses him here on ball 4 for it to be his last pitch. 3-1. Down and away, ball 4. And Sean McKenna will make the pitching change now. 5th walk by Stallings. He'll come out after 2 2/3. And leaving the bases loaded with Alex Ramirez due to come up. Sam Drumheller from Florida Atlantic will be the new pitcher. Cole Stallings gets a hand as he comes off. And a scoreless game, top of the third. 2 outs, so the bases loaded for Alex Ramirez when we come back. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. senior lefty, 5'10", 175 from Florida Atlantic. From Tampa, Florida is the new pitcher for the SwampBats, making his team-high 6th appearance out of the bullpen. He's thrown 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 6 walks, and 11 strikeouts. 1 win, no losses, a 3 ERA for the SwampBats lefty, who comes in for Cole Stallings. 2 outs at the top of the third. No score between Ocean State and Keene. Stallings is responsible for Brody Heaton on third base, Parker Rowland on second base, and Tyler McKenzie on first base. Heaton walked, Rowland was hit by a pitch, and McKenzie walked. But there are 2 outs for the left-hand batting Alex Ramirez. Batting .091 for the season with a .286 OBP. Looking for his first RBIs of the season. He could get one with a hit or a walk. Lefty on lefty, Drumheller ready from the belt. Right leg kick, the pitch. Fastball at the knees, strike 1 called.
And Ramirez hitless in his last 4 games. He last got the hit as a pinch hitter against North Adams in that walk-off win on June 22nd. It was his first hit in 5 games, now hitless in 4, looking, as you said, for his first RBIs.
0-1, low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Drumheller, fastball averages about 87 miles an hour. The last one at 89. Also offers a changeup and a slider. Ball and a strike on Ramirez, the number 7 batter for Ocean State. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, scoots past Bozzo, coming home. Is Heaton the throw? Not made. Wild pitch. And the Waves take the lead. See what they score it. A low pitch is squeezed past Greg Bozzo. And that is how the Waves take a 1-0 lead. All the runners move up. Rowland to third and McKenzie to second.
And this is Ocean State taking the lead in exactly the fashion they're so good at, stealing bases, getting around on the wild pitches, taking advantage of any loose balls, and Brody Heaton comes in there doing exactly that.
Ramirez takes up and away, and now the count 3 balls and 1 strike on Ramirez. First base obviously open now, but you don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, the Waves don't necessarily need contact to come home. Saw an example of it there. Now they finally do lead 1-0. It took 2 separate occasions for loading the bases.
3-1 pulled foul of first on the ground, 3-2.
Again, it took 2 separate loaded bases loaded occasions for them to take the lead, and now Alex Ramirez has a chance to do it for a 3rd time here by advancing to the open base in first.
Wild pitch there, the official scoring to score Brody Heaton. 3-2. Pull foul of first toward the grandstand, 3-2. Rowland at third, McKenzie at second. 3-2 the count. 2 outs, top of the second. The Waves just took a 1-0 lead on the wild pitch. Left on left the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block by Greg Bozzo, but it's ball 4. Already the 6th walk of the game for the Ocean State Waves. They've had the bases loaded in each of the last 2 innings without benefit of a hit. First walk allowed by Drumheller. That brings up Greg Pate, who walked his first time up.
Yeah, as you mentioned it there, that's the story of the season for Ocean State. Happened last night, too. Walked 3 straight for 2 separate loaded bases occasions, and that's how this game has started in the opening 3 innings.
Pate takes high and out of the strike zone, 1-0. Pate batting .158 from Central Florida. And Greg Bozzo will now go out to the mound and talk with Drumheller. Rowland at third, McKenzie at second, Ramirez at first. It's been a frustrating inning for the SwampBats. They've only conceded 1 run so far. Trying to keep it that way is Drumheller.
Yeah, and you have Graveline, the designated hitter, due up at the bottom of the order next, and the last thing you want to do is return to the top of the order where you can have runners appear at the plate twice in 1 inning. Just 3 batters away, from doing that.
1-0 to Pate. The pitch down low. 2 balls and no strikes with no place to put him. See what Drumheller comes with. on a pitch where he's got to throw a strike. 2 balls, no strikes, the base is loaded. 2 outs, top of the third, 1-0 Waves. Pitch. Down, strike at the knees. Close pitch. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone. It's 2-1.
Yeah, just clipped the bottom edge for strike 1. Could have been a lot worse on the close call, and gets 1 back in this count, where if he advances the runner, the Waves go up by 2.
Drumheller's ready. The 2-1. Lifted in the air to right. Taylor back on it. Reaches up. It's over his head going to the wall. Roland in to score. McKenzie in to score. Ramirez waved around third. The ball bobbled in right field by Padilla. He will score as well. It's a 3-run triple for Greg Pate. And the Waves take a 4-0 lead.
Efficient base hitting from Ocean State. Pokes it, flies it right over into right field territory, drops just over the reaching arm of Jordan Smith and Devin Taylor. That brings in 3 runners with the bases loaded, and now a 4-0 lead for the Waves.
A 4-run top of the third inning. The walks, a hit batsman come back to bite the SwampBats, and here is Graveline. Swings and misses. Had a pitch down low, 0-1. A triple for Greg Pate, RBIs 7, 8, and 9 on the season. The pitch, cut on, tipped into the mid of Bazo, 0-2. With Pate now the lone base runner, he's at third base. Number 8 hitter getting it done for the Waves.
Now he waits 90 feet away as well.
0-2 line, caught by the second baseman Brian Padilla. And that retires the side. But Ocean State gets 4 runs on just 1 hit. There were 3 walks and a hit batsman, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It's the Waves 4, the SwampBats 0. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
Welcome to Hurt Skirt or Just Hurt. Our first contestant is suffering from knee pain from a recent running incident. What do we think, audience? Hurt Skirt or Just Hurt? Why not try Hurt Skirt? Make your recovery hassle-free with Hurt Skirt, a patent-pending, stretch-to-fit, hot-cold therapeutic sleeve, proven to stay cold longer and still remain completely mobile. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt.
State Waves, who took advantage of 3 walks and a hit batsman. They got a 2-out triple off the bat of Greg Pate to plate 3 runs, clear the bases, make it 4-0 Waves. Cole Stallings now the book closed on him. 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts in the 4th start of the season for Stallings. Drumheller gave up a walk, 1 run charge to him, and the triple before getting Graveline to line out. 7, 8, 9 for the SwampBats. In the bottom of the third, Greg Bazo fouls off the first pitch breaking ball from Wyatt Lunsford Shankman, who has only thrown 18 pitches, Nathan, through 2 innings of work.
Yeah, and through those 2 innings, retiring 6 straight batters, 2 strikeouts, allowing no hits, has still none on the season.
Wave and a miss at the 0-1, breaking ball outside, and it's 0-2 on Greg Bazo. Batting .292, One of the better batting averages on the team. .320 the on-base percentage for Bozzo. 0-2. On the ground to third. Backhanded by Gillespie. He throws across the diamond in time. One man away.
It is now the 7th straight batter that's gone down. The 5-3 play once again as Gillespie gets the scoop, turns nosy as time, zips the throw over to first at Heaton, who catches it with no trouble, and it's one away here at the bottom of the third for the Waves.
That'll bring up Ramses Cordova, getting the start at second base today. In the 8-hole. Wind up with the pitch to Ramses. Breaking ball, a fastball rather, on the inside corner, swung on and missed, 0-1. Waves 4, SwampBats 0, 1 out, bottom of the third. Strike called on the outside corner, and it's 0-2 on Ramses Cordova.
Yeah, Schenkman really taking advantage of the fastball and finding the strike zone efficiently for an 0-2 count.
0-2, fouls away on the slider. Back to the screen. Count still 0-2 on Ramses Cordova. He's only thrown 3 balls so far today. 0-2. On the ground towards second base. Coming up with it is Pate. He throws out Cordova, out number 2 here in the bottom of the third.
Once again, the men on base working the ball around the base path efficiently. Brody Heaton, the man that catches it at first for the second straight batter and retires the second straight batter. So it's 2 up, 2 down to start this third inning for the Waves. Familiar scenes here early on. Getting off to a great start defensively, and we'll go to the bottom of the order for the first time tonight for the SwampBats.
Here's Aiden Korn batting .237 with a .362 on-base percentage. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Lunsford Schenkman, and the count, no balls and a strike.
23rd strike thrown tonight from Schenkman.
0-1, waved at and miss out in front of another slider, and it's quickly 0-2 on Aiden Korn.
Make that 24 strikes. Schenkman is just 1 strike away now from ending this one.
0-2 in the dirt, laid off by Korn. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Waves have struggled on the road this season, 3-6-1 away from Old Mountain Field in South Kingstown. 1-2. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. SwampBats have a .500 record at home. They're 4-4, but down 4-0 here in the third. 2-2 to Korn. Popped up, right side, out of play over the grandstand. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Aiden Korn. Aiden batting .237 on the season, no homers, 7 RBIs, .362 the on-base percentage. 2-2. On the ground, snagged by the pitcher. Lunsford Schenkman flips it to the first base bag, and he has now thrown 3 perfect innings. 4-0 Waves as we go to the fourth. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake. Woo! Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake.
With you in the press box here at Alumni Field through 3 innings of play. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 5 men left on base for the Waves. Zeros across. for the SwampBats. It'll be the top of the order already the third time through. Kyrie Miller, Lewis Barnum, and Brody Heaton against Sam Trumheller at the top of the fourth. Nathan?
Thanks so much, and great job as always in the first three frames, and as is the way in the NECBL, the visiting broadcaster will take over for the middle three innings. Again, it is a 4-0 Waves lead as Kyrie Miller steps up and sees the first ball thrown for strike number 1. It is Drumheller in his second inning of work after replacing Cole Stallings on the bump. In that first three, the second pitch swung on and lined straight through the glove of the second baseman into the outfield. It'll be a base hit as Ramses Cordova can't pick that one up at second, and Kyrie Miller reaches base for the first time tonight.
That ball was scorched. 102 off the bat. Would have been a really good play if Cordova was able to backhand it. Rightfully scored a base hit for Kyrie Miller.
Yeah, absolutely. The ball had some pace on it, as you said. Got down. Always hard to pick that one up as it just dribbled into the outfield. That brings up Lewis Barnum, the second spot. He swings and misses on a high ball for strike number 1. His third at-bat of the night. Still looking for his first hit. Flew out to center field in the first inning and flew out to first base foul territory in the third. That's high and away for ball 2. Ball 1. The scoreboard seems to be a little bit behind live here, but it's a 1-1 count as strike 2 is thrown there. And Lewis Barnum, the second hitter tonight out of Bryant University, comes out of San Diego, California. It's a 1-2 count against him. Just 6 hits and 4 runs on the season as that pitch gets out of the glove. Runner heading towards second. Does he get the tag in time? Yes, he does. So attempting to steal was Kyrie Miller, and for the first time tonight, a Wave goes down trying as the tag is applied at second, and it's one away for the SwampBats.
We'll go 2-4 on the caught stealing. Really good recovery and throw by Greg Bozzo for the first out.
And so Lewis Barnum will go again, faces the 1-2 count, make that 2-2. One out on the board now, no one on base for the Waves. Again, first steal, a full count, now faced by Lewis Barnum. That is fouled back, and he'll stay alive. So Drumheller facing the first or second full count of this evening's game. The 3-2 pitch comes in, swing and a miss from Barnum. And he's going to go down looking, a strikeout for the second out. And it's 2 up, 2 down to start this inning for the SwampBats, getting off to a better start than they did, allowing 4 runs in the last inning. And that'll bring up Brody Heaton in the 3 spot, the first baseman in the field for the Waves. Again, came in for the first run of the day on the wild pitch just an inning ago. That began a 4-run second inning. And now looking to get a hit, his first of the night, as the first pitch goes by for strike 1. That strikeout, just the 4th thrown throughout the game, as that one is flown just into the shallow right field territory. Brody Heaton records a base hit. He'll get to first. That drops right in the gap between Cordova and Smith. Got just enough pace on that one, and Rowland comes up with 2 outs away, but a runner on first for the Waves. Parker Rowland came in again for the second run. He was the second of 4 in the second inning, was hit by the pitch. It was a confusing and slightly controversial call, but the ruling was a hit by pitch as he checks the swing there but doesn't take it back in time for strike 1. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs on the board. Runner on first for the Waves, who lead 4-0 through 3 here, top of the 4th inning from Alumni Field, where the rain has just held off. A swing and a miss there for strike 2, so caught swinging in 2 consecutive pitches, and it's an 0-2 count. Drumheller just a strike away from recording one of the quicker innings for the SwampBats and leaving one on base. Brody Heaton waits on the first bag. The 0-2 pitch swung and fouled into right field territory, just looping into the smaller set of bleachers beyond the grandstand, and that'll keep him alive and at the plate. Still 0-2.
Going back to that hit by pitch, controversial call if he swung or not. Could have unfolded a lot differently if it was called a swing.
He's not going to get the 3-pitch strikeout as that one is outside for ball 1. It's a 1-2 count with 2 outs on the board. Again, the Waves looking for their second straight win. The SwampBats looking to break a 5-run losing streak as he swings and tips that one off the bottom of the bat to stay alive. Just gets enough contact there again. Swung on the pitch, brushed off the bottom into the plate. So the 1-2 count, 2 outs against Roland. Heaton waits on first. Here comes the pitch. That one grounded to third, picked up by Padilla. Throw to first is in time, and that'll end the inning. So the SwampBats retire the side on 1 hit, 1 left on base, no errors. And it's a 4-0 Waves lead going into the bottom of the frame. We'll be back. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. SwampBats, bottom of the 4th inning coming up, and the Waves trying to record their 4th perfect inning. Will Lunsford Schenkman on the mound in his first start, still yet to allow a hit. He has retired 9 straight batters on top of 2 strikeouts, thrown 25 strikes and only 5 balls in that time. The SwampBats have been kept off the bats and off the bases early in this one. As Schenkman will step up once again to the plate. That'll bring us to the top of the order for the first time tonight. Jake Mumaw steps up. And the first pitch goes away for a strike. So 0-1 strike number 26 on the night, thrown by Lunsford Schenkman. Second one here, winds up and finds his own strike number 2. So an 0-2 count for Schenkman against the leadoff hitter tonight, the shortstop. That one grounded into center field. It'll be a first base hit of the night for the SwampBats. Mumaw pokes one right past second, and he'll reach base for the first time. And finally, after 3 innings, the SwampBats are able to reach a man on first for the first time. It's a team that has struggled to score early on, and facing a 4-0 hole, it is Mumaw looking to advance. That brings up Devin Taylor, the right fielder. That's just the 3rd hit on the season for Mumaw, as that one is low and away for ball number 1. It's a 1-0 count against Taylor, who just poked it outside in front of him fair and was thrown out at first in his first at-bat. Swings and tips that one off for strike, and it's a 1-1 count. So the 1-1 with a runner on first for the SwampBats. 29 strikes, 6 balls, the count now, as Taylor, who is 5 for 25, batting .200 on the season, does have a home run and an RBI to his name, as the check back to first is not on time. And Mumaw is retreating safely. Stays on the ground for a little bit longer than maybe he should have, but gets up and retakes the lead on first. Schenkman gets his sign, deals in for strike 2, and it's a 1-2 count. So no outs on the board and a runner on first after Lunsford. Schenkman allowed his first base hit through 4 innings and first through 4 appearances on the season, as Taylor swings at that one and tips it off the bottom of the bat and into the backstop to stay alive here. 1-2 still. Just working up the pitch count of Schenkman. 3 very, very fast-paced and quick innings thrown by him. Again, 9 straight batters retired and just under 30 strikes as that one is poked right to Schenkman, makes the throw to second. Tag there is in time, but Pate won't be able to get it to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning at second as Mumma is caught out. It'll bring Devin Taylor to first, and 1 out on the board. We'll still have a runner on first for the SwampBats. And so we'll go to the third spot in the order. Garrett Rice was struck out in his first time as he fouls that one back for strike 1. Was the third out of the first inning in as many batters, as now he has Devin Taylor waiting on first. And he awaits the second pitch. The count is thrown, holds that swing, and it's going to be ball number 1 here. And still a runner waiting on first. Not as huge of a lead as we saw Mumma take in an attempt to take second there. The 1-1 count. Now Schenkman awaiting his sign. Gets it, kicks and deals. The swing is checked and pulled back, but not in time, and it will be a second strike. So here it comes, the 1-2 pitch. Schenkman trying to record his third strikeout on the afternoon. Can he do it? Not there, as it's under the zone for strike 2. It's a level count at 2. So Rice doing a good job to stay in this one. Looking to advance the base for only the second time tonight. Pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. It is the third strikeout of the night for Schenkman. That retires the second batter of the side, as still with a runner on first, we'll go to Braden Horton, the designated hitter tonight for the SwampBats. So 3 batters up, 2 batters down, with Devin Taylor waiting on first. The Waves, it's the most offensive action from the SwampBats they've allowed tonight as the first ball zips into the zone for strike 1. 0-1, 2 strikes left to go for Schenkman. Now 37 strikes thrown and 8 balls as that one is poked right to second. Pate gets it, throw to first. Heaton is in time, and that'll do it. So the SwampBats do reach base for the first time all game. Can't do anything with it. That'll take us into the top of the 5th. The Waves hold on to a 4-0 lead. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
First thing Bruce felt was quality, the consistency, knowing that when I take them out, they're going to be the same every time. And the second was to be able to see kids all over the country wearing the gloves that I designed. That's one of the coolest parts of this.
Waves with a 4-0 lead here through 4 innings. Top of the 5th coming up. And due up for the Waves is Davis Gillespie in the 5 spot, the third baseman today. And the Waves recording 3 straight 1-2-3 innings and retiring all but one batter through 4. Allowed 1 base hit. It was Schenkman's first allowed of the year through 4 appearances. That came in the last inning, but the SwampBats couldn't do anything with it. 4 hits for the Waves, 4 runs for them, and only 1 hit for the home side as the rain and weather has fully seemed to subside here. A little bit of a threat of rain coming into this one. It did drizzle a little bit in the first few innings after the game was pushed back just about a half hour due to a weather delay. But we seem to be in the clear here. Again, only 1 scoring inning. It was the top of the 3rd that saw the Waves put home all 4 runs on only a hit. Loaded the bases on 2 separate occasions on straight walks.
New pitcher for the SwampBats, Frankie Sanchez out of Southern New Hampshire University. He's made 1 appearance. It was a start. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 unearned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout.
First ball tips off the bat for a strike.
Drumheller went an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
The third pitcher of the game that we have seen for the SwampBats in an attempt to control this one as Gillespie pokes that one to short. And throw to first is in time, so Mumau throws to Garrett Rice, and that'll put the first batter away. 1 out quickly on the board off the 6-3 play, and that'll bring up TJ McKenzie. So once again, the SwampBats getting off to a faster start in this one. TJ McKenzie will step up to the plate. 11 runs on 5 hits this season, 1 home run that came all the way back in his first appearance. He previously played for the SwampBats in the summer of 2022, known around these parts, scored 17 runs for them last season as that one is swung on and missed for strike 1. Also had 7 homers for them right here at Alumni Field, 7 stolen bases, and batted .196. As the second pitch is thrown and fouled back for strike 2, it'll be an 0-2 count for McKenzie. And the SwampBats a strike away from putting down the second batter in as many plate appearances. The Waves, after exploding just 2 innings ago, kept a little quiet here. The 0-2 pitch. Time called. We'll just take a little bit of a pause here. And now TJ McKenzie steps back into the box. Here comes the pitch. That one poked fair. TJ McKenzie's going to run to first. And he's going to get the base hit. Well, it seemed like that might have bounced foul, but he did run to first, caught the other end of the line, lined right down the third base foul line. And now he will return, so it will be hit foul. That was my initial reaction there, and he ran to first, stayed there for a little bit, which led me to believe that it did bounce fair, but the instinct proved to be correct as he hits that one foul. Does do enough to stay alive, and it's an 0-2 count with an out on the board. And so he steps and goes again, the 0-2 into the dirt for ball 1. And once again, it'll be 1-2. Just a check there on the swing. TJ McKenzie pulls it back in time. It will indeed be the first ball thrown of this at-bat, and it is a 1-2 count against McKenzie. Looking for the second out. Here comes the pitch. Swung, fouled back, and once again, we'll keep this one going. McKenzie once again just doing enough to stay alive. Coming out of high school, ranked the 67th best high school infielder nationally. That was back in 2019. His brother Tristan is a pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians organization in Major League Baseball. So baseball running in the family for McKenzie as that one is flown out to center. Getting under it is Jordan Smith, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So finally, TJ McKenzie goes down empty-handed as the catch made in center field for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Alex Ramirez. Ramirez, who has advanced on 2 straight walks back in the second and third inning, advanced to third in the second, came all the way around for the 4th and final run of the inning. That was on Greg Pate's 3 RBI triple. He was waiting at third and eventually did come home as first ball grounds onto the plate for ball 1. Ramirez swings, fouls that one back for the first strike. Ramirez, again, transferring to Mercer after playing his last few seasons over at the University of Rhode Island, just about 10 minutes down the road from Old Mountain Field, where the Waves are located and where these two teams will meet later this month in July once again. Ramirez swings that one out to third past the on-reaching Padilla. He'll reach first for a base hit, and Ramirez gets his first hit in 5 games to reach first, only his 4th of the year. And now a runner on first with 2 outs on the board to bring up the next batter, Greg Patai. And that one poked just over the outreaching Brian Padilla. Couldn't get his glove contact, and it dropped into the outfield in left field for a base hit. And now 2 outs, 1 on base. Patai ducks under that one for ball number 1. As the lights overhead turn on for the SwampBats here at Alumni Field. The sun just starting to depart. We can't see it because of the clouds in the sky, but the important thing here is no rain so far. Turning out to be a nice night for baseball. And the 1-0 count coming against Patai. Patai with Ramirez on first. Doesn't swing on that one. It'll be a second ball. So a 2-0 count now in his favor. And now Patai sets up. The pitch, Ramirez leads toward first. That one fouled into right field territory, and he'll foul back for the first strike. That looks like a catch made in the grandstand there, if I'm not mistaken. The fans getting excited about that one.
I want to say it was one of the SwampBats. I think that might have been Sam Portnoy in front of the bullpen making the catch.
Well, unfortunately, that one out of play, and the player that caught it not in play for the SwampBats. As that pitch just gets beyond the glove of Bazo, Ramirez goes to second and steals it successfully. So Alex Ramirez, for only the 6th time this season, steals base, and he reaches scoring position. Now a runner on second, and a 3-1 count in favor of the batter, Greg Patai.
Should go into the book as a wild pitch, and it does.
Yeah, that is my mistake there. He does reach second, but it is on the pitching mistake, the wild pitch. That one nailed into right center field. Picked up. Ramirez is going to head home. Is the throw on time? Yes, it is. So Ramirez is struck out trying to get home, or tagged out, I should say, and that'll retire the side. So heading to the bottom of the 5th, it's the Waves still holding on to that 4-0 lead over the SwampBats. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
Keene SwampBats Baseball on the NECBL Network is brought to you by Duncan, Timken, Ted's Shoe and Sport, C&S Wholesale Grocers, Raider Dental, Corning, Service Credit Union, the Keene Sentinel, the Greater Keene and Peterborough Chamber, connecting business and community. U.S. Cellular, Coca-Cola, Monadnock Broadcasting Group, Savings Bank of Walpole, the savings bank of you. Monadnock Ford, Fidium Fiber Internet, Yanos Technology, Fenton Family Dealerships, Hertskirt, American House, Fairfield, making memories since 1904. Fraser & Son Furniture, ICU Medical, M&T Bank,
5.5 innings, I should say. The bottom of the 5th coming up between the Waves and the SwampBats. Thanks so much for joining us here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. As Ocean State looking for their 2nd state win. Once again, the SwampBats looking to snap a losing streak that's amounted to 5 games. Looking for their first win against a Coastal Division opponent this season. A Coastal Division that is jam-packed with competition. For the Waves on 9-8-1 with 9 wins. Looking to catch up to Mystic in 2nd place, who has 10 wins and who had their game postponed tonight. So a chance to temporarily level things in the 2nd place spot. Leading the Coastal Division is Newport. who are heading toward their 15th win of the season tonight. That leads the NECBL.
Yeah, Newport up 8-0 on the Danbury Westerners at home. That game's in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th at Bristol, it's Vermont with a 2-0 lead there. And North Adams, a 4-1 lead over Martha's Vineyard. That game in the top of the 4th. Last place in the NECBL. North Adams have won 2 in a row, and they're leading the defending champs now, 4-1 in the 4th.
Yeah, they're an interesting team because they lost their opening 12, as that one is flown right under the center fielder, Kyrie Miller, who makes the catch. That came off the bat of Jordan Smith. Barnum and Miller got under it, read the ball right, and it's 1 up, 1 down to start the inning for the SwampBats.
By the way, going back to that top of the 5th inning, what a throw by Devin Taylor. On the fly, right to the catcher, Greg Bazzo, to get Alex Ramirez at the plate on the single by Greg Pate.
First pitch coming up this time, it's against Brian Padilla. Only at bat did not result in a hit or a reached base as he goes up on the 0-1 count. Second pitch thrown, sees that one outside the zone for ball 1. It'll level the count. And out on the board, no one on base after the Waves retire the first batter of the inning. A quick start defensively for them as Lunsford Schenkman, my mistake, continues his electric start here, swing and a miss for strike 2 against Padilla. The third baseman today in the field for the SwampBats. The 1-2 pitch, here it comes once again. Swung on and missed, but the pitch goes wild. He's going to get over to first. Throw is in time. So Parker Rowland almost lets the pitch escape him, recovers, and throws to Heaton for the second out. It's 2 up, 2 down. Almost wasn't pretty, but recovers well there.
Yeah, Padilla hustling down the line. That was a bang play at first, and a good long throw by Rowland, accurate as well, to complete the strikeout successfully.
And so now stepping up will be Greg Bazzo. Are they going to argue that hit him?
Yeah, Bazzo is contending that it hit him. Bazzo's on his way to first base. The umpires are now going to all come in conference. Bazzo reacting clearly that it hit him, and now both dugouts are pleading their cases at the umpires' conference between the mound and first.
Yeah, that pitch went past him. He ducked away and immediately was brushing at his arm as if to say, yeah, that hit me. He's going to go to first just in case, and as you mentioned, the 3 umpires now converging in the infield to discuss that one. The Waves looking for their third 1-2-3 inning. Not sure if they're going to get it. It looks like Bazzo is going to return to the plate. He's taking his time, maybe in case any decision is made, but for now it looks like the umpires were ruled that it did not hit him, as Bazzo has handed the bat back and will take an 0-1 count by the looks of it. Still arguments coming from the SwampBats dugout. The coach in discussion with the home plate umpire. And it seems to be a little bit of a heated one. And obviously he will be contesting for his batter that it was hit, but he'll walk back into the dugout, still arguing, but the call will stand. And so it will be an 0-1 count. Called a strike.
That's one of the more animated arguments that Sean McKenna, who's pretty even-keel coach, has had with an umpire this season.
The pitch swung. Did he bring it back in time? No, he didn't. The trek swing goes, and it's 0-2. So Lunsford Schenkman, in his 5th inning of work, in his first start and 4th appearance, is 1 strike away from a third 1-2-3 inning. As that pitch is going to go past everyone, including Parker Rowland, and into the backstop. No one on base to take advantage of a potential wild pitch situation, as it remains 0-2. That one dipped right into right field, and making the diving catch is T.J. McKenzie in the right field, laying out and making a great catch to retire the side. That will bring us to the top of the 6th. 4-0 Waves. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
SwampBats taking on the Ocean State Waves. It is Ocean State that has a 4-0 lead on top of a 4-run top of the third inning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. As Lunsford Schenkman on the mound for the Waves, recording yet another 1-2-3 inning after a diving catch in right field by T.J. McKenzie. Retired the side. That'll bring up the SwampBats field once again, where we have a new pitcher on the mound, the fourth of the night for the SwampBats.
Dan Brown, 6'4", 190, out of Pace University at Pleasantville, New York, a senior from East Northport, New York. Dan Brown making his 5th appearance of the season, 5 1/3, 1 hit, 3 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 6, struck out 10. He was a losing pitcher last Friday in Newport, 0-1 with a 1.68 earned run average. A tall right-handed side armor. It'll be difficult to pick up, especially for those right-hand batters. Sanchez went in and gave up 2 hits, no runs, thanks to the great throw by Devin Taylor to get Ramirez at the plate to end the top of the 5th.
And the first pitch thrown by Dan Brown is a ball for a 1-0 count, but the SwampBats making their way through the bullpen here, trying to look for answers against the Waves, as the second ball thrown is going to be a strike. So the second pitch, my mistake, is a 1-1 count against the designated hitter in the 9 spot today, Matthew Graveline. Advanced on a walk back in the 2nd inning, the 3rd of the night, and didn't get anywhere farther as that one is popped into right field. Getting under it is Devin Taylor, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Or out number 1, excuse me. Routine catch, read the ball well there through the clouds. It popped up to right field, and he did everything he needed to do. So 1 up, 1 down will return to the top of the order for the 4th time tonight as Kyrie Miller steps up. Bumps away from that one as it's outside for ball 1. Looking to record his 2nd hit on the night after being struck out in the opening 2 innings. Kyrie Miller out of the College of Charleston, comes from Columbia, South Carolina, stands at 6'1" at the plate, swings and fouls that one up and back for strike 1 for a 1-1 count. Coming into this game, 9 hits on 6 runs and 44 at-bats, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 5 walks, struck out 19 times. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. Brown looking for his first strikeout of the night on the bump for the SwampBats. And he'll set up now for the 1-2 count. No runners on. That one's going to escape everyone and head into the backstop for ball number 2. Just bouncing under the hands of Greg Bozzo. And it's level at 2. Again, an out on the board after the catch made in right field by Devin Taylor. The 2-2 count. Loading up. Here it comes into the ground, or towards the ground, low for ball 3. And in his 2nd plate appearance, it'll be a first full count faced by Dan Taylor on the mound. And first faced by Kyrie Miller as well. His 4th time up to the plate tonight. That one low for a full count walk, and Kyrie Miller advances on the base on balls. He will get to first. It is the 7th walk across all pitchers thrown tonight. It was the first 6 that loaded the bases, which the Waves did 3 separate times, eventually bringing in 4 runs to show for it, as Lewis Barnum, the left fielder, steps up. That pitch escapes the hand of Bazo, but he recovers in time, so Kyrie Miller will stay home at first for a 1-0 count against Barnum. Barnum out of Bryant University. The outfielder again from San Diego, California, coming coast to coast to play summer ball. 40 games for Bryant, mostly as the designated hitter, batted .281 on the year as he swings and fouls that one back for strike 2. That came after making only 4 appearances and going 1 for 8 at the plate in 2022, following an injury that sidelined him for the majority of his sophomore season, coming back in 2023 with a resurgence to remember. With his 40 games, again, .281 batting average, slugged .500 on the year in his third college season. Sees the next pitch go under for ball 2. It's a 2-1 count. Again, Kyrie Miller still waiting on first.
Yeah, with Dan Brown, his stuff is great. He's very hard to hit. His question is just the command of the strike zone.
Did he find it there? No, he didn't. So ball number 3 as he throws another pitch low and not quite into the dirt, but gets the underside of the zone for a 3-1 count. Miller now takes the lead off first. He'll be looking to move on contact as Barnum and search, swing and a miss. Strike 2, that'll fill up the count for the second straight batter. The pitcher, Dan Brown, faces a full count looking for his first strikeout of the night. Again, 1 out, 1 on, 1 walk allowed. Barnum, the 2-spot left fielder. 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. That one is going to be thrown low for a second consecutive walk, the 8th of the night. That puts runners on first and second as Miller advances to second. Barnum reaches first. And that'll bring up Brody Heaton, who scored the opening run a couple of innings ago. Now has runners in scoring position, and we'll see our first mound visit early on here for Dan Brown.
Yeah, Hunter Cooley going out and try to talk with Dan. 8 walks given up by SwampBats pitching in this game, plus a hit by pitch. Your offense is struggling. Can't give up free passes on the other side and expect to win too many ball games.
Especially against a team that's so good around the base paths and so good at taking advantage, leading the league in stolen bases. Not necessarily as strong when it comes to bringing runners home, but Greg Pate had something to say about that stat line in the second inning with a 3 RBI triple, a season first for him. And that is what brings us to a 4-0 lead. We have been scoreless in the last 2 innings between the teams. It is only the top of the third where the Waves have been able to score, as the first pitch for Heaton goes low for ball number 1. So runners on first and second, 1 out on the board for the SwampBats, who are entering just damage control mode here if they want to keep themselves in this game. Brody Heaton has since tucked in his shirt, as we pointed out at the top of the broadcast, and
well done.
Grounds that back to left field for a foul. Maybe that's the good luck charm.
Looks much more professional now. Well, he's not having an issue in that department. He's reached base 3 times, 2 hits and a walk. But he looks much better now than he did last time he came up.
That's what matters, right? Maybe not.
Indeed. I would say yes.
So Heaton faces the 1-1 count. Again, 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, and that pitch will hit him to load the bases. Strikes him in the back as Dan Brown throws the second hit by pitch of the night for the SwampBats. Miller advances to third, Barnum to second, and Heaton will take a slow stroll to first. 4th time the Waves have loaded the bases tonight. On only one of those occasions have they brought runners in. And now with only 1 out at the top of the 6th, they're going to look to extend this early lead.
It's the 3rd time in the game the Waves have loaded the bases without benefit of a hit. 2 walks and hit by pitch here as that one caught Heaton on the upper part of his rear end.
The SwampBats got off to a good start to this inning as Graveline went down and the fly out to right field, but since then all 3 runners have reached, and as you mentioned, no hits.
SwampBats bring Rice in on the grass at first. Padilla even with a bag at third, middle infield back.
First pitch outside for ball 1, and lunging to his left to make the grab was Bazo to try to prevent the wild pitch. Again, any sort of advancement or error at this point would bring a 5th and maybe 6th runner home for the Waves. And all Roland has to do at the plate is reach base, as that one goes for ball number 2, and it's a 2-0 count now against Dan Brown, who is a real pinch to escape in his first inning of work here tonight. That's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1, so a 2-1 count. Parker Rowland had the second of 4 runs in that third inning. He was the victim of the first hit by pitch.
Needs a little stickum on that bat. See, just wants to get a little bit of a better grip.
Yeah, steps out of the box and he's looking at his bat. He's touching the bat.
Is that what they use these days? Stickum? Pine tar?
Not quite sure, to be
Sticky
honest
stuff.
with you, but whatever it is, it's...
Sweat and rosin?
See if it helps. Certainly need a reapplication there, as now he will see ball 3 go past him, and it's 3-1 with the bases loaded. The Waves already hold the 4-0 lead here at the top of the 6th.
No place to put him.
Any advancement to first would bring a runner home, but he swings and misses for strike 2, and for the third time in 4 batters, we'll have a full count. In both of the previous 2 this inning, runners have reached. It was a walk by Miller and a hit by a pitch from Brody Heaton. And he'll walk on ball 4. That'll bring Kyrie Miller in on the walk, and a 4th straight runner reaches to keep the bases loaded. No hits, 5-0 Ocean State Waves.
RBI walk from Roland. Now, a walk, a hit batsman, and a walk. The last 4 batters here for the Waves with 1 out in the 6th.
The SwampBats not for the first time tonight, just displaying some control issues of the zone. 3 full counts in that time again, as that'll bring up Davis Gillespie, who is looking for his first hit of the night. And it looks like we'll actually have a pinch hitter for Gillespie. It'll be Garrett Howe who steps in his place. So the first pinch hitter of the night for either team, as the Waves starting to shift their lineup, something we have become accustomed to. Garrett Howe stepping into the opposite batter's box. The first of presumably many pinch hitters we'll see, as the Waves squad in this position does like to rotate both in the field and in the batting order. So the 1-1 against Garrett Howe. Thrown in outside for ball number 2 once again. Bazo just leaning over to his left and reaching out to make the catch and prevent the pitch from going wild. With the bases still loaded, the Waves have brought in a further 1 run after the 4-run third inning. It is now 5-0 the lead, as that one will go for ball 3. So really struggling to find the strike zone here is Dan Brown, as it's another 3-1 count, a ball away from bringing in a 6th run for the Waves, which would be the 2nd straight RBI walk thrown. And that is exactly what it will be. So 4 walks and 1 hit batsman, a 2nd straight RBI walk. This time it comes from the pinch runner Garrett Howe. That brings in Lewis Barnum, and it's 6-0 Waves, and understandably we'll get a mound visit.
And a pitching change, as Sean McKenna will make another pitching switch. He'll be the 5th pitcher in the game here with 1 out in the 6th inning for the SwampBats. Dan Brown, it was electric his first 3 outings. Has struggled now throwing strikes in his last 2. He's a good pitcher at sidearm slot, but just now struggling with his command. We'll hope that he's
That's home Alumni Field here, where the Waves have continued to explode offensively on no hits and a 4 walks and 1 hit batsman to take a 6-0 lead over the Keene SwampBats here again at Alumni Field. The top of the 6th inning not yet concluded, as we have a mid-inning pitching change. It is making his season debut, James Quinlivan.
Yeah, James Quinlivan from Northeastern, just signed last few days by the SwampBats. Computer science major at Northeastern, 6'6", 215, senior from Medway, Massachusetts. Lefty, played baseball, basketball, and football at high school, and Nathan, he started this spring in February against the Boston Red Sox. At an exhibition spring training game, 2023. No record, a 2.40 ERA in 12 appearances. He pitched 15 innings, 2-1 with a 2.51 ERA in 32 1/3 innings in his career at Northeastern.
And now he comes in as the 5th arm tonight out of the bullpen for the SwampBats. TJ McKenzie will step up with the bases loaded. Again, the Waves have already put 2 away. They haven't recorded a hit yet, and we're 3 away from looping back to Graveline, the DH, as that one is fouled back and in for strike 1.
We'll just see 2 pitches from James Quinlivan, a 4-seamer and a changeup.
So the 0-1 count. Quinlivan waits for his sign. He'll get it and sets up for the pitch. Here it comes low for ball 1. And that'll level the count. The 1-1 against Quinlivan, again making his season debut here against the SwampBats, or against the Waves. For the SwampBats, it is once again clipping the underside of the zone for a 2-1 count. To recap for you, Garrett Howe, the pinch hitter in his first time at the plate tonight, waits on first off the RBI walk. Parker Rowland on second, and Brody Heaton on third. Pitch is going to be ball number 3, so a 3-1 hole once again with the bases loaded for the SwampBats, and no matter who they bring out of the bullpen, they just can't seem to find that control that they're desperately looking for.
I want to be fully honest with you, Nathan. For my money,
as that one fouled back for strike 2, it'll be a full count once again.
I'm not going to put any money on it. I'm not the coach of the team. You know, you're still playing to win this game, but SwampBats have 5 games of the next 3 days. A doubleheader tomorrow, a game Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday. A pitching staff that's already short arms. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a position player at some point for the SwampBats if this gets a bit worse.
McKenzie bumps that one into shallow right outfield. That brings in Brody Heaton. It's an RBI single for McKenzie. Finds it right in front of Devin Taylor, and that is 7-0 Waves, and still the bases are loaded. So Brody Heaton comes in. Parker Rowland goes to third. Howe to second, and McKenzie advances to first on his first base hit of the day. And the Waves firmly in charge here as Alex Ramirez steps up. He has advanced to base 3 times in 3 plate appearances, 2 on walks, 1 on a base hit in the last inning. Came around once, that was in the 3rd. He sees the first pitch outside and away for ball number 1. Still only 1 out on the board for the SwampBats. A long way to go for them before they get out of this one. They trail 7-0, 3 runs in this inning, and still the bases loaded. That one into right center and caught this time by Taylor. The throw coming home, and it won't get there as Parker Rowland comes in for the 8th run of the day. So the sacrifice fly by Alex Ramirez hits the glove of Devin Taylor for out number 2, but not before Rowland comes in for the 8th run of the day and the 4th run of this inning.
Second 4-run inning for the Waves. They've got a grand total of 2 base hits in both of those innings.
That'll bring us to Greg Pate, and if he advances or gets out of this out-bat without an out, we will return to the leadoff hitter in this inning, Matthew Graveline, as that is ball 1. It's a 1-0 count. So now the situation, runners on first and second, no one on third. So for the first time in a while, we do not have a loaded bases situation. McKenzie on first and Howe on second. Both players with a lead off the base. Howe is going towards third off the strike. He will get there on time. And a pair of stolen bases coming from McKenzie and Garrett Howe. Howe reaches third, and McKenzie reaches second. And 2 runners now in scoring position for the Waves, who have already put up 4 in this inning. Putting up that amount of runs for the second inning tonight. That is responsible for an 8-0 Ocean State lead. And now we go to Greg Pate, out of the University of Central Florida, coming out of his freshman season, as that one hits the dirt for ball 3. It's a 3-0 hole in which a 4th ball would load the bases once again. The SwampBats still working on 2 outs. It has been a rough inning for them. It's Quinlivan now on the mound, as that one is flown out into the outfield. Getting under it is Devin Taylor, and he will make the catch leaning back to retire the side. They will leave 2 runners on, but not before letting up 4 runs to double the Waves' lead. It's 8-0 to the visitors, heading to the bottom half of the frame. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. Inning for the SwampBats saw the Waves bring 4 home on only 1 hit in that inning and put up 4 of their own for the second time tonight to make it 8-0. And now the Waves looking to defend out this lead. It would be their biggest win of the season if they hold it out. But, of course, still 3.5 innings to play here at Alumni Field.
And the SwampBats, for their part, have just 1 base runner in this game. A leadoff single in the 4th inning for Jake Mumaw. Dan Brown's final line, a third of an inning, no hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, and a hit batsman. James Quinlivan just came in for him.
And Lunsford Schenkman will remain in this game for the 6th inning of work. He has had an exceptional night, retiring his first 9 batters, going 1-2-3 in the 5th, recording a 5 fast innings as that one is poked towards first. Schenkman will retreat to the base and get the tag on time, or he won't. He'll step but misplace his foot. It won't get on the bag, and Ramses Cordoza, it looks like, will advance to first. Wow, it looked like the Waves had that under control, but Cordoza is safe. Schenkman couldn't get there.
Yeah, a little bleeder off the end of Cordova's bat, hustling down the line. The throw was on time. The first baseman Heaton with the pitcher covering. And you had it, Nathan. Lunsford Schenkman just missed the bag.
Yeah, he got the toss as he retreated to first as Brody Heaton ran into the infield to get the ball. Had it in time. All he had to do was step and couldn't find it. As that one is tipped off for strike number 1. That brings us to the bottom of the order, where the left fielder Aiden Korn steps off. He was only 1 plate appearance tonight. Again, only the first time or second time making our way all the way through the order. as now Cordova waits on first off of a really strange play by the Waves as that one finds the zone for strike 2 and Schenkman recovers. So it's an 0-2. And Schenkman awaits the sign, gets it, swing and a miss. And that'll do it. Strike 3, a strikeout thrown by Schenkman to immediately follow the strange play at first. It's 1 out on the board for the Waves, and we will return to the top of the order where Jake Mumaw steps up. He advanced on the only base hit of the day before this inning and reached second. First one's going to find the zone for strike 1. So Lunsford Schenkman pretty much doing the opposite of what the entire SwampBats bullpen is doing. He is not struggling for control by the looks of it. And through 3 innings, through only 5 balls and 30 strikes, as that one is tipped back for a strike. And now it's an 0-2 count. Again, Cordova waiting on first. So the scoreboard not quite updating yet, but it is an 0-2 count as that one is outside for ball number 1. Schenkman looking to keep a runner off base for the second time. Runners for the SwampBats have only gotten as far as first as he throws that pitch high and away for ball 2. An 8-0 lead once again for the Waves. That is what they're trying to defend here at the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 runner on. That one poked to first base. Heaton is going to make the throw to first. Or to second, sorry. He will get the out, but a runner will advance to first and will go again. So it's 2 outs on the board for the Waves, and this time it's Mumaw that for the second time tonight reaches base at the expense of Cordova, who's tagged out.
Good slide there by Ramses Cordova. Very clean in the base pass. It wasn't a takeout slide, but rather than just giving up, he did slide into the bag to make it a difficult throw for Ramirez, who just put it in his pocket. No double play.
And so it's a 2-out situation with a runner on first, and that'll going to be ball 1 thrown by Schenkman. Up to bat now is the second spot hitter, Devin Taylor, who pokes that one just past Heaton. He'll get another base hit. Heaton just maybe a little bit intercepted there by the run of Jake Mumaw. Couldn't get his body down in time despite diving for it.
First time the SwampBats have multiple runners aboard in this game, and it's really good to see Devin Taylor get a base hit. He's still been hitting the ball hard, but a bit of a struggle the last few games for the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
And sorry, there was a change at first base, which I'm now just recognizing. Didn't come through on our system here, but it's Christian Ficca who steps in for Brody Heaton. Garrett Howe on third for Gillespie after coming in as a pinch hitter. And we'll take you through any other changes we can find, as that one is in for strike number 1 against Garrett Rice. So once again, runners on first and second. It's about the most dangerous the SwampBats have been on the night, as it's an 0-2 count, and now Lunsford Schenkman just a strike away in his 6th inning of work here from putting the SwampBats down once again. Again, runners on first and second. It is Christian Ficca in at first and Garrett Howe in at third, to remind you. Christian Ficca coming in this inning, wearing the number 32 today, usually sporting the number 14. Looks like Greg Pate is the only remaining starter in the infield as he awaits at second. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be ball number 1. So the 1-2 with 2 outs on the board. Schenkman still in control of the count. Here comes the pitch, swung, poked to short. The throw to second on time, and that'll do it. No need for the double play. Patai linking up with Ramirez. It is the 6th for play to end the inning, and the Waves hold on to their 8-0 lead. Headed to the top of the 7th. This is NECBL Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
Your next Ford is waiting at Monadnock Ford. Right now, get a great offer like this on your next new Ford. See these offers and more at MonadnockFord.com. Monadnock Ford, home of the low price tire guarantee and your local Ford and used car retailer. Voted Keene's best.
Nothing lead over the Keene SwampBats here at Alumni Field. And for the final 3 innings, I'll shoot it back over to Jonah White for the play-by-play call as the SwampBats try to get themselves out of a late hole here at Alumni Field.
Thank you very much, Nathan. It's an 8-0 lead for the Waves. 8 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 9 men left on base through the first 6 for the visiting team. For the SwampBats, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. James Quinlivan got Matthew Graveline to fly out to the warning track to end the top of the 6th. He faces Kyrie Miller here in the 7th, a right-handed hitter, and throws him ball 1 down low.
It was actually Matthew Graveline at the bottom of the order up now as we made our way through the entire order in that last inning. No worries there. It was a jam-packed last inning of action, so you can't blame me at all.
1-0 inside, and it's 2-1. You're absolutely right. This is Graveline. It was Potato. We've got F9 and F9 right next to each other.
Yeah.
You're right. The Waves sent 9 men to the plate in that 4-run 6th.
Well, you were correct in the way that he got out.
2-0. Graveline swings and misses, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Matthew Graveline 0 for 2 with a walk.
But he did get out to lead off the inning, and then we got all the way down our score sheet, so just a straight line. So hard to read in that situation. But
the 2-1 on the inside corner, a strike from Quinlivan, and it's 2-2. Graveline, Miller, and Barnum here for the Waves. And the top of the 7th here at Alumni Field. 2-2. Foul back at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Matthew Graveline. Ocean State got 4 runs in the 3rd on just 1 base hit, and they got 4 runs in the 6th on just 1 base hit. The 2-2. Taken a little bit outside, and the count runs full. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Matthew Graveline. Quinlivan making his summer debut. I'll try and give the SwampBats some length out of the bullpen. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball high, ball 4. And a leadoff walk for Matthew Graveline. That is the 11th walk of the game, in addition to 2 hit batsmen for the Ocean State Waves.
Yeah, yet another leadoff walk. And the last time that this happened, the Waves loaded the bases on, as you've said, only 1 hit. The walks have been absolutely deadly for the SwampBats, who through 5 pitchers have just really struggled for control. And we'll see if Quinlivan can save himself here.
Kyrie Miller takes a fastball for a strike at 88 miles an hour. Everyone in the lineup tonight for the Ocean State Waves has reached base at least once. The 1-0 is grounded to the left side. Waiting for it is Mumaw. Throws to second for one. That's all they'll get. Cordova to cover the bag and force out Graveline. It's a 6-4 fielder's choice for Kyrie Miller. One out in the top of the 7th. Waves have loaded the bases in 3 different innings, all 3 times with no hits. Cole Stallings, the starter, worked out of it in the 2nd. The Waves took advantage in the 3rd and in the 6th for the tune of 4 runs both times. Pitch is high to Lewis Barnum, a left fielder from Bryant. 1 ball and no strikes with Miller now the runner at first. The big, tall lefty working from the third base side of the rubber, set at the chest, the 1-0. Fouled over the grandstand, 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, Quinlivan will want to give the SwampBats length out of the bullpen. Still 8 more outs to get in this game. And the SwampBats have 5 games of the next 3 days. The pitch in the dirt goes off the umpire. Shot Grasso, and he will take a walk up the first baseline, try and walk it off.
It would be the 2nd loss in as many days of this magnitude for the SwampBats, and 2nd at the hands of a team from the Ocean State.
There's a new catcher into the game for the SwampBats, Joseph Salvo, the catcher from Samford University. For his first action behind the plate this season, he's pitch hit and designated hit this year. As a pitch down in the dirt, and it's 3 balls and a strike on Lewis Barnum. Greg Bozzo and Jackson Owen have split time behind the dish this season for the SwampBats. Salvo, the 3rd catcher. Give it a chance here in this one. 3-1. On the ground is short, could be 2. Mumaw flips to second for 1. Cordova on to first. It's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play off the bat of Lewis Barnum. No runs, no hits, no errors. A walk, a fielder's choice at a double play, and nobody left. We stretch at Alumni Field. It's 8-0 Waves. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. Waves bottom of the 7th inning. Wyatt Lunsford Shankman was terrific in the start. He leaves in line for his first win of the season. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts for the righty from East Carolina. The new pitcher is Parker Bard.
Yeah, Parker Bard, the rising senior out of the University of Dayton from Carmel, Indiana. Has played 2 games this year. Last appeared 2 games ago against the Upper Valley Nighthawks. got the loss in the 7-6 loss, pitched an inning in relief, allowed a run, which was earned. 3 hits, a walk, and 1 strikeout, faced 7 batters on the season. He's pitched 3.2 innings, struck out 5, allowed 5 walks, and 4 hits on the season. That is in 21 faced batters. So Bard steps on the mound in relief for the 3rd time this season. Again, the rising senior standing at 6-4 on the bump, and he will look to sort of level the count here and close this one out. Again, Lunsford Schenkman with a great first start, and as you said, in line for his first win of the season, as we are getting ready to go here at the bottom of the 7th.
Braden Horton leading things off for the bats in the home 7th. Takes outside ball 1. Braden is 0 for 2. 8-0 Waves here, bottom of the 7th inning. At the dark at Alumni Field. Lights providing the only source of light here as the pitch is fouled over the third base press box. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. We've passed dusk. It's dark except for the field lights here. 1-1 the count on Braden Horton.
Yeah, still a nice night. The rain now fully dissipated into just some clouds, and the mountain in the backdrop of our field is now enveloped in darkness.
Braden tips this one into the catcher's mitt of Roland. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4, 5, and 6 here for the bats in the home 7th. Bard with the full windup of the pitch, swung on and missed strike 3. Scoots behind Roland. He gets it, throws to first in time to complete the strikeout.
And once again, Roland showing a good recovery there. Can't hold on to the pitch, but does enough to prevent the base advancement as he picks it up, throws it to Ficka at first, and prevents any further damage to go 1 up, 1 down, and it is the first strikeout of the inning for Parker Bard.
That brings up Jordan Smith. He's lined out to center and flied out to center in 2 trips. Bard works from the full herky-jerky windup, and he throws ball 1 down low. Take another check at the out-of-town scoreboard this Wednesday night around the NECBL. 1-0 inside breaking ball. It hits Jordan Smith the backside, and he advances to first, and that'll bring up Brian Padilla. Padilla has grounded out and struck out. Jordan Smith's got a lot of speed. See what he does here. He's got a pretty decent-sized lead. Padilla fouls one off the catcher's mask. Little wake-up call there for Parker Rowland, and the umpire, John Carasso, will walk out the baseball. North Shore Navigators at the Upper Valley Nighthawks were postponed. Mystic at Sanford was also postponed. Those games will be made up later in July. The 0-1 to Padilla. On the ground, left side, it's the shortstop, Ramirez, throwing to second, and safe. It pulled off the bag. Pate, the second baseman. It'll be an E6. And 2 men aboard with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th for the SwampBats.
And again, the Waves, who have been so solid in the infield all night, just giving one up there. The throw at short just too wide for Pate, who does a nice job to get a glove on it and get the snag, but has to rip his foot off the base in the process, and that allows a runner to get to second in Smith. Padilla reaches first, and that brings up the 7th spot batter, Greg Bazzo.
Here's Joseph Salvo for the first time. He's 3 for 10 on the season. With a compact upright stance for the right-handed catcher from Samford University. And he takes a fastball strike, 0-1. Joseph Salvo is a hard worker. Tends to be the first guy to show up for early work. The 0-1. Down low, and it gets to the backstop. Both runners will move up. Smith up to third. And Padilla up to second base. So 2 in scoring position for the SwampBats here in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 count on Joseph Salvo.
And this is about the most offensive action the Waves have let up all game, and it comes when Lunsford Checkman leaves the mound. Parker Bard with just a little bit of a pinch to get out of, but with an 8-0 cushion, won't be too worried quite yet.
Waves keep the infield back, as you'd expect with an 8-run lead. The pitch misses low. 2 balls and a strike. Final in Newport. The Newport Gulls 8 and the Danbury Westerners 2. Newport improves to a league best 15-3. Danbury drops to 6-11. Bard ready. The righty deals 2-1. Taken for a strike. 2-2 on Joseph Salvo. That at 90 miles an hour on the outside corner from Parker Bard. Long-haired righty brings the hands together. Winds up with a pitch. Breaking ball. Off the plate away, and the count fills up on Salvo. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And it looks like we do have more defensive changes for the Waves. Stepping in at third is Denlinger, and Garrett Howe moves to short for Alex Ramirez.
A 3-2 to Salvo. Low, ball 4, and the SwampBats have the bases loaded. Hit by pitch, an error, and a walk. And the bases are full of SwampBats for Ramses Cordova, who ran out an infield single his last time up.
And it's really just flipped the script here. This is what we've become so used to for the Waves. And now we'll have a visit to the mound for the Waves, as for the first time they're really in a pinch. With 3.5 innings left to go, the SwampBats in danger of pulling up to 3 back and could make a little bit more of a game out of it.
Cordova will be the hitter with 1 out and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th. It's 8-0 Ocean State.
So once again, just to review the changes that have been made in the infield. Garrett Howe, after coming in for Gillespie at third, moves to short, replaces Alex Ramirez. Austin Denlinger comes in at third. Christian Ficca remains in at first after coming in for Brody Heaton an inning ago.
So the error earlier was on Howe. 1 out, bases loaded for Cordova. Righty deals. Fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Vermont and Bristol in the bottom of the 9th at Bristol. The Blues trying to catch up. They're down 4-2 against the Mountaineers. 1-0. Foul back over the grandstand. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the 6th. On Martha's Vineyard, the Sharks have caught up to the Steeple Cats. That game is tied at 5 in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-1. Take it inside. 2 balls and a strike. SwampBats looking to get on the board here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bard ready. The 2-1. Well inside. 3 balls and a strike. So like what we saw with Dan Brown, it's often difficult for side armors to find a strike zone. Obviously, it's very hard to pick up, very hard to hit, especially from the same side. But sometimes hard to command. 3-1, swung on and foul, tipped out of the glove of the catcher Parker Rowland. At the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
First full count faced by Parker Bard, just trying to get himself out of a pinch here as the bases stay loaded. He's a strike away with only 1 out on the board, so a lot of work to do for the Waves defense for the first time tonight.
Payoff pitch to Cordova. Foul back. Good at bat being worked here by Ramses. That was a good pitch. 91 fastball on the inside corner to make it 3-2. Smith on third. Padilla on second. Salvo on first. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. 8-0 Waves. 3-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed strike 3. On it with a slow curve at 76 miles an hour. Second strikeout for Parker Bard. It'll be up to Aiden Korn to try and take advantage of this opportunity.
And the 6th strikeout thrown overall tonight for the Waves. Parker Bard responsible for 2 of them, as he does half of the work to get himself out of the jam and now needs to record the last out without letting a runner on. The Waves have an 8-0 or 8-0 cushion to deal with, but Bard will want to clean it up in his first inning in relief for Lunsford Schenkman here in the 7th inning.
Korn is heading back to the dugout. The SwampBats look like they want a pitch hitter. The only problem is nobody is coming out of the dugout. Sean McKenna just came to communicate that to the umpire. And now we'll see the new batter. It looks like it's going to be Tony Livermore, the infielder from Northwestern. 2 outs to the bases loaded, trying to put Keene on the board here.
It is the 2nd pinch hitter for the SwampBats here. Again, a good situation to be in, the bottom of the order. Chance to clean it up and return to the top with the bases loaded, but 2 outs on the board, so Livermore has a job to do. All he has to do is advance.
Right on left, and Livermore fouls the first pitch back. Fastball at 92 miles an hour from the side armor Parker Bard. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Yeah, the count 0-2 here on Livermore.
And if the SwampBats want any hope in coming back in this game, they have to bring in at least one here with the bases loaded. You haven't gotten this situation in your favor all night, and now to do that and risk going down without a run would be detrimental.
0-2, did he hold his swing? No, he did not, says the third base umpire, Phil Levesque. Livermore still in the box, looking out at the umpire who made the call. But the side is retired. Parker Bard strikes out the side and works out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on base. We go to the 8th. It's the Waves 8, the SwampBats nothing. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
Curious about the awesome talent Kelly has? Well, here are some robotics specialists. This group works in telecom on 5G. They work on autonomous vehicles. Those are education professionals. Oh, and system analysts, contact center reps, biologists. There's data scientists, substitute teachers, mechanical engineers, not to mention people who work on-site and off-site. Kelly's got top talent in specialized and emerging skill sets, ready to help your business prepare for what's next.
Got a 6-4-3 double play from the SwampBats infield to get him out of it. He'll face 3, 4, and 5. And the Waves batting order as Ocean State enjoys an 8-0 lead on the SwampBats. Reminder to stay tuned after this one is finished for the SwampBats postgame show right here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and also on the NECBL network. And that our next broadcast on the radio will be tomorrow from Martha's Vineyard. We'll take the ferry out there for a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games at 4:30 and then at 7 p.m. We'll be on air with the pregame show from 4:20 on the Vineyard. First pitch to Christian Ficca is fouled away to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. The count on Ficca.
Christian Ficca came in as a field replacement on defense back in the 6th inning. Made his first appearance in the batting order last inning. Or, excuse me, is making his first appearance batting order now.
0-1 misses in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Quinlivan into the full wide. The lefty deals. 1-1 caught on and missed. Got him with a fastball low, and it's 1-2 on Ficca, who came in to play first base in the 7th for Brody Heaton. 1-2. Low went outside with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes in this left-on-left matchup to begin the top of the 8th.
And Quinlivan, again, the 5th pitcher sent out of the bullpen tonight, looking just at this point to stop the bleeding in these last 2 innings.
The 2-2 on the ground to second base. Cordova fields, throws in time. 1 man away. SwampBats debut for Quinlivan. He came in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. Gave up an RBI single, then a sac fly. But got another fly out to end the inning. Walked the leadoff man in the 7th, but got a fielder's choice and a double play to get out of that.
And another pinch hitter here as catcher for catcher, Jackson Finney comes in to replace Parker Rowland. Finney, who appeared behind the plate for the first time last inning.
And the pitch to Finney is cut out and missed, 0-1. So Finney, ended catcher, came in for the bottom of the 7th. So he was there where the SwampBats had the bases loaded but could not score. The 0-1 to him, caught on and missed at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, the rising senior from Marshfield, Massachusetts, out of Bryant University, one of a couple players out of the Ocean State, a couple players from Bryant, 4 players from URI representing the Ocean State Waves. He is one of them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 at an outside fastball. James Quinlivan strikes out Finney on 3 pitches. His first strikeout is a Keene SwampBat, and that will bring up Garrett Howe, who pitch hit and walked with the bases loaded in the 6th inning.
And if my notes are not mistaken here, that is the first strikeout thrown since the 4th inning and 5th of the night.
Strike called there, 0-1. It's the 6th strikeout by SwampBat pitching in the game, but you're right, first since the 4th inning. This one is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. On Garrett Howe. Here's the 1-1. Down and away, and the count 2 balls and a strike. God Finney. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 8th, the Waves lead the SwampBats 8-0.
SwampBats looking for their 2nd straight scoreless inning after giving up 4 back in the 6th.
2-1, chopped near the plate, foul up the first base line, and it's 2-2. SwampBats Baseball is brought to you by More Than a Thrift Store, where your donations make a difference, located on Ralston Street in Keene. Two balls, 2 strikes on Garrett Howe, a left-hand hitter, against the lefty pitcher James Quinlivan from Northeastern. Winds up the pitch. Shot on the ground to shortstop. Mumaw throws in time on a close play at first, with Howe hustling down the line. A 1-2-3, 8th inning for James Quinlivan. We go to the bottom half. Still 8-0 Waves. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. is Garrett Roller for Ocean State, a lefty.
Growler, the rising senior out of Seton Hall University, comes from Harleysville, Pennsylvania. The left-hander, in his 5th appearance of the season, does have a win to his name with an ERI of 5.40. Played 4 games and pitched 8.1 innings in that time. In that time, struck out 5 and allowed 12 hits. Coming into relief as the 3rd pitcher on the night for the Waves, replacing Parker Bard. And looking to close out this one with 2 to play, my mistake.
Will face the top of the order for the SwampBats in their 4th time through. Jake Mumau, Devin Taylor, and Garrett Rice. Mumau 1 for 3. The first SwampBats base hit of the game to lead off the 4th, and he's also played a good shortstop in this one.
Once again, the Waves just looking to hold this one out. They have a 8-0 lead and scored in only 2 innings. It was a pair of 4-run innings coming in the 3rd and the 6th that have resulted in this lead. They have taken advantage of double figures in walks allowed by the SwampBats, as well as a couple of hit-by pitches. Only 7 hits on the day to account for their 8 runs, but they have made their way around the base paths efficiently, and the SwampBats now with 6 outs to play with for the rest of this game.
Crowler deals in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes on Sheikh Mumau. Batting in the leadoff spot for the first time this season, the 1-0. Hit hard on the ground, but right at the first baseman, Ficca. He takes it to the bag himself. There's 1 away.
Yeah, Ficca picks that one up, reads it the whole way, grounds right into his glove, makes the stroll over to first. No trouble at all, routine play. And it's 1 up, 1 down as Mumau's poke just couldn't escape him. And now 5 outs left for the SwampBats as that brings Devin Taylor up to the plate.
Taylor 1 out of 3. He's also got an outfield assist through a runner out at home in the 5th inning from right. And he takes inside, ball 1. Final in Bristol, Vermont Mountaineers 4, Bristol Blues 2. Vermont improves to 13-4. As this one is low, or rather fouled off Taylor's bat, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Bristol Blues now drop to 7-11 on the season. A 1-1. Another no-swing foul, and it's 1-2. Tough luck for Taylor.
Yeah, that one just, Growler will say it's intentional, but it just hits the bat and fouls off to his left for a 1-2 count.
Well, lefty deals 1-2, and it's a breaking ball, fouled off of the plate. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Parker Bard pitched a scoreless inning. Gave up a walk and a hit by pitch, but no hits, no runs, and he struck out the side.
And got out of the pinch as well, had the bases loaded, and was able to record the all-important strikeout to keep the SwampBats off the board.
1-2 to Taylor. Line toward the middle. Base hit for Devin Taylor. It's a 2-hit game for Indiana's Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And we'll send up Garrett Rice, who's 0 for 3.
Yeah, and again, the SwampBats finally able to get some action around the bases. This time it comes off a hit. Devin Taylor with his 2nd base hit of the night. Last one came 2 innings ago. Couldn't get farther than first after the single. 1 out, 1 on. And that brings up Garrett Rice, the 3-spot hitter today, and as well as the first baseman.
Rice takes a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. It's 8-0 Ocean State here at Alumni Field. Be a 1-0 from Growler. Popped up, foul ground right field, and that'll touch down. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, no one chasing that one for the Waves. Knew it was going above them and well into right field territory, and it does indeed bounce foul for a level count.
1-1 pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls at a strike. Martha's Vineyard have taken a 6-5 lead against North Adams in the top of the 7th. That's the only other game in progress in the NECBL at the moment. Runner goes, the pitch, breaking ball swung on and missed, and now the transfer pops out of the glove of the catcher Finney. And a stolen base for Devin Taylor, his first of the season.
And now the SwampBats in scoring position again will be disappointed that they couldn't come out of the last inning with a run. Now a chance to put one away here and bring one back to attempt to claw back an 8-run deficit here.
2-2 to Garrett Rice. Swung on and missed strike 3 on him with a breaking ball. It's the first strikeout for Aaron Growler. 2 outs with Taylor still on second base.
And across all of Waves pitching today, 8th strikeout of the day. They were victim a couple of games ago to 14 strikeouts from Newport. A day later, struck out 8 times, and now have that statistic to their advantage, as they've struck out 8 here in Keene.
Here's Braden Horton, who broke up a shutout in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Yesterday, a home run to center field. He takes outside 1-0. For all the SwampBats' struggles offensively this season, they actually haven't been shut out. They've pitched 2 shutouts. They've always scored a run this season as Horton pops one up to the left. And that is out of play. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. They were an out away from being shut out last night against Newport. But Braden Horton hit one into the hedges in center.
And Drew Holderback is in left field now for Lewis Barnum. And it does still look like Kyrie Miller and TJ McKenzie going from left to right take up the center field and right field spots still. But Drew Holderback now in at left. He was chasing that foul ball, and it's eventually what
runner goes. He steps off, throws to third, and Taylor is safe. A heads-up stolen base for Taylor. The throw to third was not caught by Denlinger cleanly. Even if it was, Taylor would have been in there safely.
Yeah, and Denlinger let that one slide, and you could see there Taylor thought about getting off the third and going home, but luckily for Austin Denlinger, didn't travel too far. He was able to recover it, but still a runner 90 feet away. You mentioned it. They haven't been shut out this season and are 90 feet away from continuing that streak.
Hop foul, left side out of play. 1-2 now, the count on Braden Horton. 8-0 Waves. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, and Devin Taylor, the runner, at third after a single and 2 stolen bases. The 1-1. Breaking ball fouled toward the first base SwampBats dugout, and it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Growler looking for the 9th strikeout and 2nd of the inning to end this one and bring us to the 9th.
1-2. Pop foul, left side and out of play. And it counts still 1 ball and 2 strikes on Braden Horton. 4 runs in the 3rd, 4 runs in the 6th for Ocean State. All the scoring in this ball game. A 1-2 to Horton. Swung on and missed strike 3. Gets away from the catcher Finney. He steps into foul ground and puts it in his pocket. Would have risked allowing Taylor to score from third had he thrown to first. Had a chance to make the play, I think, there, Nathan, but opted not to risk allowing the SwampBats to score a run.
Yeah, you could see him just as he was about to wind up for the throw. Just take a look over his shoulder at third. Says, you know what? Hey, I got a runner coming. We have 2 outs on the board. We're winning by 8. We're just going to keep this one. Plays it safe. Probably the right decision. Yes, he could have made the play, but was it worth the risk? That's the question he was probably asking. And now runners on the corners for the SwampBats, and the Waves still have to put the last out up on the board.
Jordan Smith hits one through the right side. It's going to be fielded by the second baseman Pate, but he throws to first in time. Very softly hit. Pate moving to his left, able to pick it up. That ball was perfectly placed for the 3-4 hole, but just off the end of the bat, hit very softly. Had the side retired on the 4-3 ground out. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the 9th. It's 8-0 Ocean State. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
said, watch me do my shake, shake. Woo! Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake.
Here in Keene, the new pitcher for the SwampBats is Garrett Rice. Keene brings a position player in to pitch as they trail 8-0 here heading into the top of the ninth. It's the 2022 SwampBat, Tyler McKenzie, to get things started. McKenzie is 1 for 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. First pitch from the right-hander Garrett Rice is a breaking ball, low, 1 ball and no strikes. A good summer debut for James Quinlivan, 2 2/3, a hit, no runs, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. The 1-0 pop foul over the grandstand. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Garrett Rice will save the bullpen inning. That's very important. Going into tomorrow's doubleheader against Martha's Vineyard, Keene will still have some of their arms available after using 5 pitchers tonight and 5 last night. This is 1-1, fouled away, 1-2. Some of the guys that worked last night will probably be available tomorrow as well. But the SwampBats involved in 2 blowouts on the wrong end of them last night and tonight. As the 1-2 to McKenzie. Swung out and missed, strike 3. Garrett Rice dialed it up to 86. That'll bring up Denlinger. Denlinger for his first at-bat of the game. Austin Denlinger out of Monmouth. Hitting here, and he takes a breaking ball for strike, 0-1. I'm sure Garrett Rice pitched in high school, as a lot of these guys did. But he's not a two-way player in college. He's a position player pitching here for the SwampBats. 86 foul back. And it's 0-2. Well, he's not throwing eephus pitches. He's not just fooling around out there, Rice. The 0-2, Coxon throws a breaking ball, popped up, left side, and now to play. And it counts still 0-2.
And
Denlinger
only completed just his first year in Division I ball this year after a standout year with D3 school York College last season, transferring to Monmouth, where he started all 46 games he played in his debut season. Had 56 hits, 37 runs, and 193 at-bats. Had a team-leading 12 doubles, 1 triple.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. Garrett Rice has struck out the first 2 hitters against him in the 9th inning. That'll bring up Greg Pate. Pate broke this game open, made it 4-0 with a 3-run triple in the 3rd inning. He's also singled. He's 2 for 3 with a walk.
Again, the
down low, ball 1.
At a University of Central Florida from Winter Garden, Florida, coming up to the Northeast to play some collegiate summer baseball here in the NECBL. 5 stolen bases on 7 runs and only 3 hits coming into this one.
That one fouled back at 84 miles an hour from Garrett Rice.
Since then has reached base twice on a season-first 3 RBI triple that came back in the 3rd inning for the first of 2 4-run innings for the Waves.
1-1, popped up on the infield. Calling for it is the shortstop, Mumaw. He makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the SwampBats' first baseman, Garrett Rice. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's the Waves with an 8-0 lead. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
First thing Bruce felt was quality, the consistency, knowing that when I take them out, they're going to be the same every time. And the second was to be able to see kids all over the country wearing the gloves that I designed. That's one of the coolest parts of this.
Brian Padilla, Joseph Salvo, and Ramses Cordova are due up for the SwampBats against Aaron Crawler. Pitching for the Waves, who've got an 8-0 lead. Crawler now try to preserve the shutout. He stranded runners on the corners in the bottom of the 8th. They'll face 6, 7, and 8 now for the SwampBats. Reminder, please do stick with us for the post-game show after the final out here. And tune in tomorrow for a doubleheader starting at 4:20 for the pregame show before Game 1, where the SwampBats head to Martha's Vineyard to play the Sharks. Brian Padilla takes fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Speaking of the Sharks, they have taken the lead against North Adams, 6-5 at the top of the 8th. At the Shark Tank, defending champions trying to come back and beat the Steeple Cats. The pitch low to Padilla, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Bryant is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error his last time. The 2-0, breaking ball, down and in. 3 balls and no strikes on Brian Padilla.
Aaron Crawler just trying to close this one out for the Waves. They hold an 8-0 lead, the SwampBats, with a trio of outs to handle here, but off to a good start.
There's a strike on 3-0. 3-1 now the count on Brian Padilla, with Salvo and Cordova to follow. 3-1. Fouls off the netting in front of the first base grandstand, and the count runs full on Brian Padilla. Nathan, what's coming up on the schedule for the Waves?
Well, this is the first of 3 straight road games for Ocean State. Came off the home win yesterday.
Swing and a missed strike 3 on a breaking ball.
Came off the home win versus Mystic yesterday. Well, they'll face Mystic again tomorrow. It is the first of 3 meetings between their Coastal Division rival this in the next week. And then they travel to Newport, where they will play a back-to-back nights. 1 in Cardines Field in Newport, 1 at Old Mountain Field in South Kingstown, before eventually, after the off day, returning. They go to Vineyard on Sunday and then come back against Mystic.
Salvo walked his first time up, takes a breaking ball in the dirt there, 1 ball to no strikes.
So heavy Coastal Division battle this week for the Waves.
1-0 up and in, 2 balls, no strikes on Joseph Salvo. For the SwampBats, after their doubleheader in the Vineyard tomorrow, I'll be back here on Friday to play the Schooners. Here's a strike to Salvo, 1-1. That game's at 6:30. It'll be Red Sox Foundation and Camper Night. Well, the campers from SwampBats baseball camp this week and last will be able to come to the game. 1-1. 2-1 rather. Down and in. I think it should be 3-1. Salvo. But the scoreboard says 2-1.
Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit behind there, but again, Crawler faced a couple of early holes, brought himself out of the last one.
That is down and in, ball 4. Salvo works a 1-out walk of the night. Second walk of the game for Joseph Salvo.
Just keeping the SwampBats in this one. They do get a runner on with the Waves in the final frame. And that will bring up Ramses Cordova.
Cordova, 1 for 3 with an infield hit in this one. SwampBats will have another doubleheader on Saturday at their division rival, the now 13-4-1 Vermont Mountaineers, as Cordova hits one over the first base grandstand, 0-1.
Yeah, it's been Newport and Vermont, the two top teams that have really taken charge of this one.
SwampBats will have a much-needed off day on Sunday before another doubleheader, their third doubleheader in 5 days on Monday back here in Keene. Little slow ground ball off the end of the bat to second base. Bate charges, throws to first in time, 2-men away. As Salvo moves up to second base, it'll be up to Tony Livermore to try and spoil the shutout. By the way, SwampBats forfeited the DH when Rice came in to pitch. Braden Horton played first base at the top of the ninth. Here is Livermore, who pitch hit for Aiden Korn in the 7th inning. That went out to play left field. Last chance for the SwampBats. Left on left, first pitch. Breaking ball, strike at the knees, 0-1.
Now Grawler just 2 strikes away here from closing out this one. Again, scoring in only 2 of the innings, but they were both 4-run innings and then escaping a jam late in the game to keep the lead.
0-1, misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
You talk about the SwampBats not being shut out. I believe, and I will double check this, that this would be the Waves' first shutout of the year.
1-1. Lifted high in the air on the infield. Shortstop Howe calling off the second baseman Bate. He makes the catch. And the ball game is over. In the 9th inning for the SwampBats, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We'll be back with a post-game show next as the Waves beat the SwampBats 8-0. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. Short and white, the roll on with you. The Waves just beat the SwampBats by a final score of 8-0 in this one. Ocean State improves to 10-8-1 on the season. SwampBats dropped their 6th straight game. They are now 5-11. Nathan, take us through this one.
Well, for the Waves, their first shutout of the year, shutting out the Keene SwampBats for the first time this year. It started in the third inning. The Waves loading the bases back in the second on a pair of 3 straight walks. Couldn't bring runners home. They did it again in the third, and it was an RBI triple from Greg Pate, who brought home Brody Heaton, TJ McKenzie, and Alex Ramirez, who all advanced on walks themselves to make it 4-0. Fast forward to the 6th inning. It was another 5 walks, and 1 hit by pitch, and a sacrifice fly from Alex Ramirez brought them all home for another 4-run inning to make it 8-0. Parker Bard coming in relief for Wyatt Lunsford-Schenkman, who pitched a lights-out opening 5 innings, got out of a bases-loaded jam himself, and from there both teams stayed scoreless as the game finished 8-0 Ocean State Waves off of 2 4-run innings coming again in the 3rd and 6th frames of this one. So the Waves moved to their 2nd straight win, and the Keene SwampBats dropped their 6th straight. The Waves return to Coastal Division action against Mystic tomorrow as the Keene SwampBats head into a doubleheader.
Yeah, the SwampBats will try and wash this one away quickly. It might be a long bus ride to Martha's Vineyard tomorrow, but hopefully there will be some more smiles on the way back if the SwampBats can at least win one of those 2 games and snap what is now a 6-game losing streak. The SwampBats now 1-9 in their last 10 games. They haven't scored more than 4 runs in any of those games. And their struggling offense gets shut out for the first time this season. Just 4 hits, an impressive pitching performance by the Ocean State Waves. One last look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the NECBL before we sign off. North Adams has retaken the lead, a back-and-forth game in Martha's Vineyard. 8-6 North Adams. In the bottom of the 8th, the Steeplecats looking to win their 3rd straight after a 12-game losing streak. Again, Newport beat Danbury 8-2. Vermont beat Bristol 4-2. The other 2 final scores tonight in the NECBL. Outside for the final totals from this one. For the Ocean State Waves, 8 runs on 7 hits, 1 error and 9 men left on base. For the SwampBats, no runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 9 men left on base. The winning pitcher was Wyatt Lunsford-Schenkman. He improves to 1-0. Losing pitcher is Cole Stallings. He is 0-2. Time of the game, 2 hours and 51 minutes at an overcast Alumni Field. SwampBats dropped to 5-11. The Waves improved to 10-8-1. And our next broadcast again will be from Martha's Vineyard tomorrow, a doubleheader starting at 4:30. We'll be on air with a pregame show on the radio at 4:20. Thanks so much for joining us for this one. For Nathan Robillard, producer-engineer Forrest Sundstrom, and our NECBL Network producers Colin Quinn and Steve Pierce, I'm Jonah White saying so long from Alumni Field in Keene. This has been Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
You have been watching a presentation of the Keene SwampBats on the NECBL Network. You can follow us on Facebook at Keene SwampBats, Twitter and Instagram at SwampBats_Keene, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at SwampBats. Please tune in to our next broadcast, and thank you for watching.